Meaningful football in the month of November. You can't beat it. Kennesaw State and Missouri State, two of the top teams in Conference USA, duke it out at Fifth Third Stadium, looking to move ahead in their postseason hopes. Here's how it's shaken up in Conference USA. Not many predicted this. The Owls sitting at 5-1 need a win today to keep their championship hopes alive. Meanwhile, Missouri State, ineligible for the postseason, wants to claim the regular season title in an upstart season. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Nolan Alexander. This is the championship wide receiver, Caleb O'Neill. And in the Bowl Confidence Index in the preseason, Kennesaw State and Missouri State were picked last and second to last. But here they are sitting at 5-1. How have they gotten it done this year?
Well, Nolan, it's been a combination of dynamic quarterback play for the offense and holistic approach and team attack for defenses that have really slowed down opponents and allowed each of these teams to be so successful.
Well, let's talk about quarterback play. And for Missouri State, it's Jacob Clark, who leads Conference USA in passing touchdowns and passing efficiency.
He has, Nolan, and there's been a little bit of Missouri magic flowing out of his hand all season. As you'll see here, ball gets tipped. But last week, spreading the ball to 10 different wide receivers, pushing the ball down the field, letting your receivers make your plays for you, driving home those gotta-have-them throws, and allowing your offense to stay on schedule and roll down the field is dynamic. And this quarterback is so well. He can hide the football in the red zone, deliver the package in the back of the end zone to get 6. He does a great job of leading this team.
To halt him, Kennesaw State's defense is going to look to affect the quarterback, Jacob Clark, and they did it against New Mexico State 2 games ago with a program record 6 sacks, and then last week in a loss to Jack State, their first in conference play, they got in the backfield, just could not bring down Caden Creel.
That's right, and against New Mexico State, there was a lot of dynamic looks, twists up front, tackles in open field, and that's what the Owls have to do. They had 14 tackles for loss against New Mexico State, and last week they just couldn't get home and bring the quarterback down to disrupt that offense.
And there is the head coach, Jerry Mack, in his first season leading the Owls. The Memphis native has done such a great job, Caleb, of assembling talent this year. First taking returners from last year's squad, assimilating them with guys that bought into the vision coming out of the transfer portal in the high school ranks. And a big reason that Jerry Mack was named this week a semifinalist for the George Munger College Football Coach of the Year.
And Coach Mack has done a great job of bringing guys from all over the country and all over different backgrounds within college football and together as this team this year. And that's one of the hardest things to do, is assemble a really good football team within less than a year. And Coach Mack and staff have done a fantastic job of that here with the Kennesaw State Owls.
For Missouri State, it's Ryan Beard. He told us he's never fit a mold in his entire life. He grew up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's where Western Kentucky is. Was going to be a Hilltopper his whole life, played college ball there. And you see it in football. The young coaches, they're usually an offensive mind, but he's coached defense his entire career, was previously the defensive coordinator under Bobby Petrino. And his idea for toughness in all 3 phases has left its imprint on this program.
It has, Nolan, and on the back of their helmets, they've got the slogan, out hit, out hustle. And that's one of the great things that I love about this team and this coaching staff is the way they show up every week. They out hit, they out hustle, and it allows them to open more doors and create opportunities for themselves. And as you said, with the defensive minded, that's an old school ball approach, and I love that.
It's senior day for Kennesaw State today. The Owls are undefeated at home this year, carry one of the longest home winning streaks in the non-Power 4 ranks. Missouri State has been electric this year on the road. This is a team that's riding a long winning streak coming into today. Again, 5-1 in the league. They've taken Conference USA by surprise. They look for the upset today as Kennesaw State kicks it away, and we are underway at Fifth Third Stadium. And with that, we'll visit with the third member of our team. Here's Maria Martin.
Hey, Nolan, with Kennesaw State's defense up first, you will not see Caleb Alford out there with that unit. Last week against Jacksonville State, he was involved in a very scary helmet-to-helmet collision, ultimately leading him to be transported to a nearby Atlanta hospital. I am very happy to report that Caleb has been back with the team this week. He was at practice. He's in very good spirits, but right now he is fully focused on getting healthy again. He is a guy that is completely full of life, which is what his coaches told us this week. He has a lot of energy. He was wearing sunglasses and he was joking with all of his teammates. That was really fun for them to see. Now, in Alford's absence, Tavion Lawson and Ethan Tukes will be the ones to step up at corner with not as much experience, but defensive coordinator Mark Mattioli has the confidence in both of those players.
Thank you so much, Maria. And again, that's talking about the depth of Kennesaw State showing up this year as you see Clark do something that not many people pay attention to with his stats. That's taking off with his feet, but there is a flag on the play.
And it looked like it may be a defensive hold. Marcus Patterson was throwing some people around in the middle of the play there, and depends on if it was in front of or behind the line of scrimmage, Nolan.
Well, Garrett Dickerson with the call, and you nailed all of that, Caleb O'Neill. These are two of the most penalized teams in Conference USA. Kennesaw State second to last in penalty yardage at 67 a game. Missouri State just behind, third worst in the league at 65 penalty yards a game. So a first down here for the Bears all the way out to the 40-yard line in the opening drive for Jacob Clark, the 7th year senior out of Rockwall, Texas, just outside of Dallas. About to hit 7,000 career passing yards, began his career with the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and now he's taken Missouri State from the FCS to the FBS. Out of the pistol, he hands it off with room to the right side. Shamari Lawrence with a first down inside out territory, rumbles down inside the 40. Isaac Paul following and brings him down. Lawrence coming off a season-high 109 yards in the win against UTEP, and he finds a crease here.
And there's a huge hole there on the right side as you see that pulling guard come and make the perfect kick-out block on the defensive end and really spring that play free and open up the running lanes.
Empty set here for Clark. Bears averaging 375 yards a game. He takes to the air and has a completion to the 35-yard line with a stiff arm and out of bounds with a first down. Ronell Johnson making a homecoming out of McDonough, Georgia, picks up another Bear first down.
And we talked about it in the open, but Jacob Clark is cool, calm, collected, and savvy. And you see there he worked all the way through his progression across the field and found Ronell Johnson there in the flats. And whenever you deliver the ball like that on time to your receiver in a good location, it really allows for a great catch and yards after a run.
Two tight ends in the formation, the short side of the field. Handoff, Lawrence that way, inside the 20, and Lawrence is down at the 15, just shy of the first down marker. It's Lawson who gets the start today, the cornerback coming up with the tackle.
And the Missouri State offense starting hot here, Nolan, picking up chunk yardage here early. The Owls, which it seems to be very typical, start the game with a penalty and really set them up for success there, and they're taking advantage of their opportunity.
In the first half last week against UTEP up in Springfield, the Bears picked up 15 first downs. And what'd you say about penalties, Caleb?
There it is. I think this one may be on the offense, though. It looked like number 1, Dash Luke, may have jumped.
So it is a false start, and it goes against Jamari Robinson, the slot man.
Yeah, and that's always tough for a slot and receiver when the band's playing, it's loud, you're excited, you're moving the ball early in the game, to not pay attention to when that ball moves and keep your eyes on the football and jump on the hard count.
2nd and 6 for Clark and the Bears. Looks to pass, another flag.
Maybe another false start? Is here on the near side of the field, looked like one of the offensive linemen or the slot back may have moved again.
So another false start against Missouri State. Back-to-back false starts, takes what was a 2nd and 1. We have a huge playbook and now makes it 2nd and long.
Yeah, call Andy Reid and the Chiefs on that one because we've seen that on Sunday night too many times. Boogoo, half a second early on the snap.
He's one of the best pass blockers in Conference USA. Clark takes to the air, a long pass broken up on the far side of the field. It's Jericho Washington who comes up with his 7th pass breakup of the season.
And Jericho pursued the receiver aggressively there, Nolan. And that can always, it's high risk, high reward. When you pursue that hard and the ball doesn't have enough zip on it, you have the opportunity, like he did there, to collision the receiver and knock the ball loose. But if not, it could turn into bad news for the KSU defense.
Missouri State 10th in Conference USA in third downs, but they were very good last week in the home win against the Miners, including in the fourth quarter to seal the victory. A 3rd and 11 here, just outside the red zone for Clark and company. Play clock ticking down. They get the snap off. Clark, pocket collapsing, looks for the end zone. One-on-one ball out of bounds and incomplete. Lawson in coverage for Kennesaw State, and it's 4th down for Mo State.
And Ronell Johnson ran the angled corner route and nowhere to go because Clark led that ball just a little bit too far out of bounds, and it would have been a real circus catch if he could have made a play on that ball. But great coverage on the back end of the KSU defense and great effort by Ronell Johnson to almost bring that ball in bounds.
Yusef Obeid on for the field goal attempt. Perfected one attempt last week from the left hash. Obeid for the Bears gives Missouri State the early lead on the 43-yarder. So Missouri State scores in the opening drive. Bears up by a field goal here in the first. Missouri State goes right down the field, scores in the opening drive, thanks to a 43-yard field goal from the sure-footed Yusef Obeid. For Missouri State in that drive, Caleb, started out benefited by a Kennesaw State penalty. Bears had a lot of success, but the back-to-back false start made it difficult for Missouri State to capitalize with a touchdown. But for Beard and company, still happy to get points on the board.
For sure, and those penalties are what we call drive stoppers. And you saw it there firsthand, is it just stalled their drive so heavily as they neared the red zone and got closer to the end zone there that you have to try to throw one up to your guy in the end zone for a touchdown. Doesn't work out, and then you've got to kick the field goal, but converted, points on the board.
Obeid here to kick it off. Great day for football, sunny and 75 here in late November. Davis Bryson, the former quarterback, to the 10, and he trips up just across the 10-yard line. So Kennesaw State backed up here, taking possession for the first time. And Amari Odom, the quarterback, played great between the 20s last week at Jack State, but struggled in turnovers. In the ball game, he had 3 interceptions, half of his season total. And the coaches told us this week, Caleb, he had short-term memory in practice this week. As the week went on, his practices got better. Looks to shore up his decision-making here today.
Sure enough, and be a goldfish. That's one that was hot there for a little while, but it's true. Got to have a short memory at QB.
Jet sweep on the first play. Clayton Kopic, who certainly emerged as a freshman deep threat this year for Kennesaw State, carries it on the jet sweep with a combination tackle by G.J. Westlock and Dylan Dixon.
And here we see the Owls starting fast again, Nolan, something they do week after week.
They are great in the first quarters. The tight end, Gerard Bullock, coming off a season-high 5 grabs at Jack State, picks up the first down. This is a team, Caleb, that has scored 100 points in the first quarter. It's outscoring opponents, plus the field goal of Missouri State, 100-48 this year.
That's exactly right, and they've started fast all season long, and it just seems they have it figured out for the first quarter all year.
And Coleman Bennett is swiped down in the backfield. Excellent play from the defensive lineman Ahmad Poole, who gets the start today with a typical starter up front, Ryan Williams out.
Yeah, and as a big man up front, that's what you dream of. You get a chance to start, and then there you make a big play there early in the game for a single-yard gain. A good play there.
Bennett in motion. Amari Odom on a quarterback run. Bounces outside to the 30. Odom to the 35. And he swings forward for a Kennesaw State first down to the 41.
And that's one of the dynamic pieces to this Kennesaw State offense, Nolan, is when Amari Odom can get out of the backfield and get downfield, this KSU offense changes dramatically.
Coleman Bennett takes the short handoff there. And it's Jared Loy, the linebacker, who's been active this year for the Bears. Bring him down for a short gain. Quick pass, Christian Moss, who was honored pregame on senior day, reverses field, and Moss climbs forward for an Owl first down.
And Moss has been really good after the catch for the Owls this year, Nolan. He always seems to get a little bit of cushion and some good separation on those short yardage routes. And as you see there, he put his foot in the ground, made a move, and picked up some extra yak.
Bullock, the tight end, set in motion. Blitz coming. Amari Odom through the middle, and he's dragged down by the cleats for just a yard gain. Devon Townley Jr., the Penn State transfer. Brings him down. That could have been a big gain for Odom. Instead, it's second and long here for KSU.
It could, and as you're carrying the rock, like Amari Odom was there, that's always so just almost demoralizing. You see the hole open, you see nothing but green grass and blockers in front of you, and defense falls off, gets your ankle, and woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Chase Belcher, the backfield for Kennesaw State. Bullock in motion again. Fake it to Belcher. Odom throws open man. A first down once more for Kennesaw State. And that's Novell Dean picking up the first down, switching jersey numbers late in the year. Was wearing 12, now wears 7 here for KSU. Play action. Odom looking end zone. Kopic is wide open and scores for the Owls. The freshman has caught fire in the second half of the season for Kennesaw State and scores for the 4th time this year on a 32-yard touchdown pass from Amari Odom.
And it looked if there was a breakdown in coverage on the back end because there was no one within a country mile. You see there's a wheel route. Amari Odom looks off the safety and just floats it up there and lets his guy Clayton Kopic go get it in the end zone.
Odom throws his 9th touchdown pass of the season. How about that for Amari Odom bouncing back after struggling with turnovers last week at Jack State? He gives Kennesaw State the first quarter lead. 7-3 Owls. Kopic, the freshman, get to know the name. His 4th receiving score of the year. He's loving it. And Amari Odom back in control for KSU. Owls on top here in the first. Amari Odom for Kennesaw State. Finds a wide open man, Clayton Kopic. Mess up here for Mo State.
Yep, and credit to the KSU offensive staff there for dialing that one up. It's a switch vert is what it's called, where the outside receiver runs a 3-step skinny post and the inside receiver runs a 2-step, 3-step wheel route down the sideline. It wreaks havoc across defenses across the nation and across all levels of football.
See Kopic top 10 in the nation this year for receiving touchdowns for freshmen. Missouri State returning for the 2nd time today, and the Bears take it out across the 25-yard line. For more on Kopic, here's Maria Martin. Maria.
Nolan, that was Clayton's 4th touchdown of the year. You mentioned he ranks top 10 nationally among all freshman wide receivers. His offensive coordinator, Mitch Militello, said he's so explosive and just really fun to be around. He, quote, uses ridiculous things to say to make people laugh. So he's a pleasure on all aspects of the game, not just on the field, but in practice as well. And they mentioned that the fact that he's developed, especially throughout the back half of the season, that is exactly what you're hoping for and what you hope you get out of a freshman. It's been a lot of fun to watch him develop, and they are so glad that he's started to take every aspect of his game seriously in the back half of the year, Nolan.
Thank you, Maria. And that's 3 straight games with a touchdown for Kopic. And speaking of what she said, Militello told us he's got the balance of immaturity that you see in a freshman sometimes, meaning in a jovial way, but also the maturity of what he's been able to do on the field. Kopic, definitely a beacon for the Owls in that locker room of what he's done to bring this receiving core together, along with the veterans Binyard and Moss, and what he's doing here on the field.
And that's one of the fun, exciting things about college football, Nolan, is getting to see guys come in and make a difference early in their career, but also it's more than just football. These guys get to share their personality, and it can infect and grow and help build the cohesivity on these football teams.
Ugonna Waha back in the field for Kennesaw State. As Shamari Lawrence comes up short of the first down marker. 3rd down upcoming here for Missouri State.
You mentioned it earlier, Nolan. Missouri State converted well last week on third downs, and so far today, they didn't get it there in the red zone earlier, so let's see how they do here.
Robinson sent in motion across the formation. Play clock was ticking down. Flags are down in the field.
And Coach Beard was in the ear of the official on the far sideline. There's a chance he might have made a timeout call.
False start call on the tight end, Jaron Askren. So the third false start against Missouri State here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and the coaches we talked to on each team this week, Nolan, stressed details, importance on relying on execution in big moments, and it's little things like that on third downs that can really hurt you in a game like this.
So 3rd and long for Missouri State on its second drive. Clark climbs forward in the pocket, surveys, throws one-on-one ball, incomplete, flag is down. Ethan Tukes, the freshman, in coverage for Kennesaw State against Missouri State's Ronell Johnson.
And it's looking like it's going to be pass interference on Tukes, but fantastic pocket protection for Missouri State there.
And speaking of that pocket protection, we get another look here at the pass interference on Tukes that picks up a first down for the Bears on a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and it looked like they got tangled up at the top. We'll see it good here. And just too much hands, Nolan. There wasn't really any hold or any grab. It was just hands all over the place, and he impeded the turn, and that's going to get called very frequently if the ball's already in the air.
Fakes the shovel toss. Clark fires a strike down the middle. It's complete for a first down. A big hit in the secondary. Taiwan Christopher, the freshman. But a first down strike down the middle to Makai Cope. Defensive coordinator for Kennesaw State, Mark Mattioli, told us Clark is so good at passing down, and those accuracy is what sets him apart as a quarterback. But his ability to place the football down the seams, it's next level for the Missouri State senior Jacob Clark. And they're going to mark him just short of the first down marker coming back after the catch. So 2nd and less than a yard. Hands it off. And I don't know if he got there on the handoff to Lawrence. 5 Hamilton gets the start today for the injured Cody Jones.
Yeah, I don't believe they got it either, Nolan. And that was a interesting spot there. I thought forward progress may have given them the first down on that passing play. But again, here you go. Back in the 3rd down situation. While this one's 3rd and short. As an offense, you really got to focus here and don't do anything to impede your potential of getting and picking up a first down.
Third and less than a yard. Handoff. Lawrence eyeing the edge, and he won't get there. Brought down for a loss on the play. Marcus Patterson set the edge for the KSU defense. And 5 Hamilton swings in for the Owls.
And you'll see on the top of your screen, just Patterson blew through with nowhere to go. Left the running back stuck, didn't know where to go, what to do with the football. And that's, again, execution on 3rd downs is critical. And so far this drive, the Owls have outmanned on 3rd down.
So Missouri State had 2nd and less than a yard. 5 Hamilton makes back-to-back tackles for Kennesaw State. Stuart McDonald with the punt, and that lands in the end zone for a touchback. Timeout in the field, 5 minutes left in the first. Owls going to stop at midfield and take possession with the Kennesaw State's coming off a football game last week in which the Owls set single-game records for 579 total yards, 362 passing yards, but they struggled in the red zone. The Owls scoring the opening drive here, Caleb doing a great job just taking what the defense gave them.
Sure enough, and they spread the ball around the field. They pushed it to the outside. The QB ran the football. They hit a couple short yardage route and then taking one over the top and delivering it in the end zone. And Coach Jerry Mack has talked this week about sustaining drives, Nolan, and finishing drives. You can sustain as long as you want, but you have to be able to put the final piece on a drive and get in the end zone. And with the breakdown and coverage there, Coach Beard also talked about shoring up the back end of a defense and slowing down drives. The Owls came out on top that last drive.
Following the punt, first down for Kennesaw State. Handoff on the ground. breaks free to the backside, and Belcher is taken down for a huge loss on the play. Belcher broke free, then spun backwards, and the Owls lose 10 on first down. What a play from the linebacker, Jared Lloyd, out of Daytona Beach, Mainland High School, the former Pirate, got in there and makes it 2nd and 20 for KSU.
Big play there, busting through the line, almost bringing him down, and then Belcher trying to fight for extra yards. It ended up hurting his offense.
2nd and 20, Odom to the air, open man. First down for Kennesaw State. He goes back to Clayton Kopic, and the Owls erase the TFL.
And that's what each offense talked about all week, is staying on schedule, Nolan. And a big loss like that on first down is hard to overcome unless you can deliver a play like that.
Kopic had a season-high 5 catches last week, and certainly on record to surpass that here today. Belcher gets a few on first down there.
Yeah, and you could see Belcher yanking his way out of that pile there. He wants more, and he's a hungry back that likes to make something shake.
There you go. Belcher shaking and baking for a first down near midfield.
Yeah, and there it is. He saw it on that last play, and the KSU staff must have seen something too. They went right back to the same play, the zone up the inside zone, and there he goes, sneaking right through, makes his jump cut at the line of scrimmage and makes a backer miss, runs over a safety. Chase Belcher's done that all season. He's a tough, downhill, forward running back that can really knife a defense.
13th rush of the year that's gone over 10 yards. Came in today, 17% of his rushes going for at least a first down, as Alexander Diggs is tussled up for just a 2-yard gain. It's Townley Jr. getting in there for the Bears. And we've got a lost helmet for Mo State on the tackle. It's Townley Jr. who loses the lid.
Yep, going to have to come out of play. And it's one of those interesting things about the new rule over the last 3 or 4 years, Nolan, is when a helmet comes off, you got to come out unless it was pulled off by another player. And it really challenges the fronts and the packages you want to run depending on who's in mission-critical downs.
Empty set here for Odom. Second drive of the afternoon for Kennesaw State. And more laundry, another false start.
False start. Offense, number 56, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
The 4th false start of the ball game, but the first against Kennesaw State. And that's on J.D. Lee, the left tackle.
Yeah, and to sound like a broken record, you got to stay on schedule. And false starts like that in a second and medium long is really challenging, and it puts a lot of extra stress and pressure on your offensive coordinator to have to call a play to make up the yardage here and try to get in third and manageable.
2nd and 13. Odom to the air. Binyard pulls it down at the 50. Gains about 5 more in the play. That makes it 3rd and manageable.
Or you can do what the offensive staff at KSU and Mitch Militella did there, is throw it to one of your best playmakers and let them pick up some extra yardage for you.
Tempo on 3rd down. Alexander Diggs finds some room up the middle and gains a first down for the Owls to the Mo State 41. It's been a 3-headed rushing attack for Kennesaw State this year with Bennett, Belcher, and Diggs. And all 3 have gotten carries here in the first 15 minutes. Kopic, the man sent in motion. Odom looking right. Pocket breaks down. Odom is brought down for a sack. Desmond Barnes in this Missouri State defensive line took it as a challenge this week, trying to outplay the vaunted KSU defensive line, who leads the league in sacks, and they come up with a big one there.
And the Owls tried to go for a short yardage quick pass there, and when Amari Odom saw it, he tucked the ball, and he didn't keep his eyes downfield, which is hard to do when you've got that much pressure up front. But great job by the Missouri State defensive line and being able to bend and make their moves as Amari moved the pocket.
Just the 12th sack given up by KSU this year. That's least in Conference USA. Odom takes off, and he's sandwiched down as he gains about 4. It'll be 3rd and 11 or so for the Owls.
And here you go. This is where the strategy comes in, Nolan. You got Mitch Militello trying to draw something up here to where he can maybe get 4th and manageable, be on the edge of field goal range. But then you've got defensive coordinator L.D. Scott trying to see maybe they can draw something up or put Amari Odom in a bind here and make him make a tough decision.
3rd and 11. Odom with a lot of time, looking for the home run ball, has the senior Binyard in the end zone. Touchdown, Owls! Who needs 11 yards when you can get 42 as Odom finds the leading receiver, Gabe Binyard, for touchdown number 6 of the season.
Unorthodox approach there. Throw the go ball on 3rd and 11 in plus territory, but who better to throw it to than the combination of Amari Odom and Gabriel Binyard, one of the nation's leading deep ball threats across all of FBS. And I'll tell you what, Amari can do a great job of dropping a ball in a bucket. We've seen him do it all year long, Nolan, and it's usually going to number 1.
Daniel Kinney tacks on the PAT, and senior day for the Owls' leading receiver, who set the single-season record for receiving yards and receptions already, adds touchdown number 6 on this bomb from Odom, his second touchdown pass in the first stanza.
And credit to Gabe Binyard for the concentration there in the back of the end zone to slow down, completely turn around, but it's really hard to catch that football, bring it in, and turn your body to not allow the defender to rake the ball or try to punch the ball out.
So Gabe Binyard, that's entering today. So that's not accounting for what he's done already, including the touchdown reception. Having a career year, moving full-time to receiver this year under the new Kennesaw State staff and offense. Began his career playing with you, Caleb, as a slot back in the flex bone when he helped the Owls win a 2021 Big South championship. And the big thing for Binyard is he's touched the ball in a variety of different ways. Receiver, running back, return game. His film looks good for playing at the next level.
He does, and he rarely gets tackled by the first man that tries to get him. And he's really sneaky quick, and he can take off when he turns on the jets.
First man to get there in kickoff coverage was James Ziegler, the Cobb County native. And Missouri State down by 11 here after scoring a field goal in the opening drive of the ball game. Well, this is not familiar territory here for Missouri State in this winning streak. For the Bears, it's been a 5-game winning streak, 4 straight won on the road. But for visiting teams to Fifth Third Stadium, where the Owls are undefeated this year, trailing in the first quarter has happened every ball game but one. That was the opener against Merrimack.
It has, Nolan, and the Owls have been able to start the seasons hot, but they tend to stall out and slow down around the second and third quarters and have to rely on their defense heavily late in
And the
games.
ball comes loose on the far side of the field. Did Christopher recover it inbounds?
So the call on the field is a fumble, but the ball was already out of bounds, or whoever picked it up was out of bounds. And this is a tough place to be.
Forward fumble out of bounds, contacted by a defensive player while standing out of bounds.
Yep. Off the helmet of the receiver, and as you're diving for the ball, Tywan Christopher's body slides out of bounds. It looked like his elbow was past the boundary line, and that's such a hard play because you're trying to make a big play for your team.
Washington with a forced fumble after the reception from Donnell Johnson. And nothing going there for Ramon Green Jr. And that sends us to the second quarter with a key third down coming up for Mo State. Kennesaw State up to its usual antics with offense here in the first quarter. 2 touchdown passes for Amari Odom. It's the senior Gabe Binyard celebrating after giving the Owls a 2-score lead. 14-3, KSU on top after 1 here in Kennesaw. Begin the second quarter. Jacob Clark, the quarterback for the Missouri State Bears, coming off a Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week honor. His coach Ryan Beard remarked, "You need to just name the Offensive Player of the Week award the Ryan Beard, or the Jacob Clark award." He's been big for the Bears this year. He's got to pick up a third down here.
He has, Nolan, and as you see, he is one of the top quarterbacks in Conference USA and definitely a premier quarterback in college football. And you got to lean on a guy in a moment like this.
Goes under center, sets up a screen pass, and Kennesaw State sniffs it out. Dash Luke stopped in his tracks. Barron Hobson shoots in there for Kennesaw State, the second leading tackler in Conference USA, and it's 4th down.
It is, and Baron Hobson stepping up and making a big play on the screen here. You'll see him out of the left side of your screen. Recognize it early, fire up field, and those screen plays are so hard as a linebacker because you've got 2-3 offensive linemen running at you. You might even have a tight end that's a little more agile coming at you, and to trigger and make a tackle in the open field like that is a tough job to do.
Owls in the return, it's Gabe Binyard. Makes the first man miss, looks for a block on the edge, reaches the 30. Binyard tiptoes the sideline across the 40-yard line. 50-yard punt is swiped away in half on the return by Gabe Binyard to start the second quarter.
And again, Gabriel Binyard, hard to tackle by the first guy, second guy, third guy on this run, but he does a great job of using his vision and his athletic ability to make guys miss and force the ball down the field and negate what would have been a monster punt there. And he's just a game changer across all facets of the game, Nolan.
So Amari Odom, this red-hot Owls offense where he's been perfect through the air today, looks to go up by 3 scores at home in a game that the Owls need to win. And their hopes to play for a Conference USA championship in the first year under Jerry Mack. Davis Brysonson in motion across the formation. Odom, blitz coming, throws. Javon Rogers drops it at the 50. Well, there's the announcer's jinx.
There it is, Nolan. You send it down there. I could feel it. No, I'm just kidding. But that's a, you know, you just get excited. The ball's coming, and Rogers catches it off his shoulder pads. And when that ball really squares up the hard plastic of those shoulder pads, if you don't have the perfect basket of your arms out to catch that ball, it's really hard. And that's why a lot of receiver coaches stress catch the ball outside of your body and frame it as it comes into your frame.
A lot of pressure in the backfield. Dumps it off to Gerard Bullock, the tight end, for his second snag. Antonio Smith, the safety, who's playing here in the first half for McGuire Neal, who's suspended for the first half from a targeting ejection last week. Makes it 3rd and long for the Owls.
And there's already been a lot of talk of staying on schedule and picking up a few yards per down. And again, we find the Owls backed up, 3rd and 9. Spreading out the defense, condensing it in a little bit. Look for something to work in the middle of the field here.
Owls are 2 of 2 on 3rd downs. Odom throws out of the backfield. Coleman Bennett maintains his balance. He won't pick up the first down, but it's 4th and short for Kennesaw State. Khalil Anderson, the ETSU transfer, makes it 4th down for the Owls. Right now, offense stays in the field. And then here comes the punting unit.
And the Owls there, they ran a mesh concept underneath where they attack the middle of the field from each wide receiver, and they run a dig, a 10-yard in, and a deep ball, looking for another shot over the top. But it's a really long developing play, Nolan, and it allowed the pressure to get to Amari Odom, and he had to dump the ball to Bennett, who almost picked up the first.
Joshua Hewitt did not punt last week at Jacksonville State. Fair catch received inside the 15. And let's check in on the sidelines. Here's Maria Martin. Maria.
Nolan, one thing about Jacob Clark is he's got a lot of experience in college football, the quarterback for Missouri State. Coach Beard called him someone that can calm this entire offense down. The secret sauce for him has been his intellectual ability, especially the way that it's developed over his time as a quarterback for the Bears. He said this soothing mechanism that he has for our entire team really helps. And just to show you how much intellectual moxie this quarterback has, he now has a lot of free reign within this offense. Last year, he had to check in with his offensive coordinator, Coach Petrino, on the sideline. This year, he can get in and out of checks, and he has the reins to do it himself. He has struggled a little bit so far, but this is a quarterback who knows how to turn things around. The Kennesaw State defense better be careful of that, Nolan.
And here he is checking right now, Maria. And the Bears need a calming influence on offense. They punted their last 2 drives. Hands to Shamari Lawrence, and Lawrence is knifed down for a short gain. Hobson and Lawson combined for the Owl stop, 2nd down.
And going back to Jacob Clark for a second, that is exactly what you want from your quarterback, Nolan. A veteran guy who can sit back there and control the offense and be a true field general, but also he has the cerebral ability to see what's happening, know what the defenses are trying to do and exploit on your offense, and then counter it. and create a play that can make a big difference for you.
And here he is checking again. And with that helmet communication, that changes the conversations that you have with Clark if you're Petrino. Slings it down the middle. Big hit from Isaac Paul, but the receiver hangs on. It'll be 3rd and short again for Mo State.
It does, Nolan, and that conversation in the helmet can really influence the way a quarterback thinks, as Isaac Paul comes up and makes a great stop there to force 3rd down on that slant route. But instead of trying to get the play in and tell him what the play is and, hey, maybe this, maybe that, check with me, it's more of a, hey, here it is, and, hey, get like this, like an opportunity right here. Hey, it's 3rd down. We haven't converted. Make sure and look for this and look for that rather than telling him just the play call.
Bears look to the sideline here on a 3rd and 2. As you noted, they've yet to convert on a 3rd down so far. Play clock ticking down. Tight end set in motion. Snap is off. Clark on the rollout finds the tight end and a 1st down with a big hit. It's the freshman Jaron Askren out of Wichita, Kansas. Felt like he was under-recruited in high school. He's had a big year in his rookie season, and Missouri State picks up its first 3rd down conversion.
And it's moments like that, knowing that helmet speak from the coaches can say, hey, if they leave the edge open, check to Askren and let him run the out, or something quick like that that can make a big change. And we saw it there at the beginning of that play. They motioned him from the left side of the offense to the right side. They out-leveraged the KSU defense, and he had a wide-open receiver there in Askren to dump it to him in the flats.
Out of the I formation, a play action. Clark down the middle, open man. It's caught by the running back. And Ramon Green Jr. with a huge gain for Missouri State inside Kennesaw State territory for the 2nd time today.
In the I formation, something you don't see a whole lot anymore. You see a lot more people run the football, but you see Ramon Green Jr. there release out of the backfield, attack the middle of the field, and that is such a hard route to cover as a defense, because you look like he's in the backfield, like he may be a part of the run scheme, and then he releases it right down the middle of the field.
Pump fake. Clark slings it, one-on-one ball, incomplete. Washington in tight coverage, draped over the freshman out of Dallas, Tristan Gardner.
And Drico Washington has been a really anchor on the edge for this Kennesaw State defense all year. Did a great job there. And a little bit of hand fighting. We saw it there. And earlier he got called for it, or not him, it was Ethan Tukes that got called for it. But good, I think a good no call there, is they were both kind of had hands on each other, and ultimately an incomplete pass.
Johnson in motion. Clark fakes the handoff, pumped, rolling, and Clark dances out of bounds. It's Hobson who escorts him to the Missouri State sideline, and the Bears are faced with a 3rd down.
Back in 3rd and long, Nolan, it's a place you don't really enjoy to be as an offensive unit, but a smart play there by Jacob Clark getting out of bounds, which is something the Missouri State staff said they've been pushing for him to do. You see the tape down his right forearm. He finally got down last week for the first time all year, said, Coach, I got my first turf burn, but stepping out of bounds, playing smart football there, and that just shows his coachability.
Can the Bears pick up another 3rd down conversion this drive? Flag is down, Hobson, and the throw incomplete. And we'll check the flag.
Donovan Westmoreland really putting the heat on Clark there at the end of that play.
Offside. Defense, number 56. Lined up in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And it was the conference leader in sacks, Elijah Hill, the freshman out of Bryant, Arkansas. Called for offsides, so 3rd and short for the Bears.
And that's another one of those mental mistakes. You see him there at the bottom of the screen where you line up and you just got to check with the football, knowing, look, turn your head to the right and say, hey, I'm on top of the ball, or I'm past the football. And it's 3rd and long turns into 3rd and short. And that's the thing, as a defensive staff, you hate to see a pre-snap error like that.
So a 3rd and 2. Shovel toss. Lawrence picks up the 1st down for Missouri State with a convoy ahead. The Bears had faked that shovel toss earlier So the quick toss out on the edge. That time they do dish it off to Lawrence, a play that the Kennesaw State defense has seen frequently over the past couple of weeks. And the Bears have their second third down conversion of the drive.
Yep, and that's been taking over all levels of college football. But watch right here on the left, number 72, Mark Hutchinson, just paving the way for the running back to get down the field and really trusting in your big man to get the job done and doing a great job of it.
Handoff to Lawrence, and he's drugged down at the 30-yard line. Taiwan Christopher, the freshman, flag is down on the play.
Lawrence trying to lobby for a face mask or some sort of penalty there, but didn't get it to him. But this penalty made in the
holding. Defense, number 97, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Second holding call against a Kennesaw State defensive lineman. That time it's on the senior Adam Watkins.
Yeah, and from that angle it's hard to see, Nolan, but it looked like Adam Watkins may have got a handful of the chest plate of one of the Missouri State offensive linemen and just wouldn't let him go as he tried to run away. But
so, Caleb, how does that work defensively for a holding on a defensive lineman? What's the difference there?
Yeah, so whenever a guy, it's essentially kind of the same thing, but whenever a guy has a free release and you're impeding his ability to go down the field and make a block on a different player, and you turn the body and you get all extended, it's the same type of call as if an offensive guy was holding.
The toss, Ramon Green eyeing the edge. Inside the 20s, down to the 15-yard line, 5 Hamilton. Comes up with another Kennesaw State tackle. It's second down.
And it looked like 5 Hamilton may have just overcome a holding call there on his own. You saw him get jerked around as he broke through the line of scrimmage. But he did a great job of finishing that play.
Missouri State's played a difficult schedule. They struggled to start the year in the red zone in a big loss to Southern Cal. Since then, they've been nearly automatic. They scored in the opening drive, but it's been 14 straight for KSU. Long drive here for the Bears in the second quarter. Green on the handoff is stuffed. Marcus Patterson clamps down from his defensive line spot, and another third down here for Mo State.
And great hustle there by Marcus Patterson coming from the backside of the defensive line and chasing that play down. As soon as the running back Green Jr. slowed down, he was all over that and made a big play.
Kennesaw State takes the timeout with a big third down coming up. 3rd and 6 here for Mo State. Missouri State looking for another roadkill. The Bears have been one of the best teams on the road as of late. They've won 4 straight. And for Ryan Beard in his 3rd year as a head coach, it's been Missouri State's ability to win on the road because of the focus for the Bears in critical situations like this one right here.
That's exactly right, Nolan. And they're an elite company there, as you see on the left side of your screen. And it all comes down to what Coach Beard said was execution and attention to details, which is pretty much a consensus, unanimous across the realm of football. But it is evident in situations like this where it's 3rd and long, you're in the red zone, on the road, and if you can convert and execute in moments like this, that's how you win football games.
10 plays, 71 yards on this Mo State drive. Can they pick up a third down conversion for the 3rd time? On a 3rd and 6, Clark dropping back to pass. Pocket breaks down and Clark is taken down. Donovan Westmoreland slams down Conference USA's leading passer, and it's 4th and long.
And Mark Mattioli drawing up a blitz here, stun up front, Westmoreland off the edge, a wide open C gap, pocket collapses, and let him celebrate in the backfield a little bit.
4th sack of the year for Westmoreland, for Conference USA's most frequent visitor in the backfield, the KSU defensive line. And the Bears tack on their 2nd field goal. 44-yarder coming off a 43-yarder for Yusef Obi. Mo State's given up the most sacks this year. Kennesaw State feasting on 3rd down. It's Westmoreland with a big stop for the Al defense. But the Bears
back in Kennesaw on a 3rd and 6. Bop it, twist it, sack it. Donovan Westmoreland from the right side of the defense, twisting all the way around and getting into the backfield and causing a sack
Number
on
11
a
from
critical
Missouri State
down
is checking into the
for
game.
the Kennesaw State
93.
Owls and making a big play there on the field.
And Caleb, it goes back to Kennesaw State's key to the ball game. You see the defensive coordinator Mark Mattioli in his first year. He said for the Owls, they have to affect the quarterback, something Missouri State struggled with, and sacks allowed the most in Conference USA. Meanwhile, the Owls, the most frequent visitor in the backfield, 25 sacks this year, only had one last week at Jack State. But that time when they had it, it was Donovan Westmoreland, the transfer from South Carolina, coming up with a third down sack.
Sure enough, and that's a huge momentum swing when you can finally get to a quarterback, and the Owls really missed that last week, and so far they're doing a good job of it this week. But
Obeid with a field goal, his second of the day, and launches a touchback there. So drive number 4 for Amari Odom in the Owls offense. Scored through the air to Clayton Kopic.
Checking in the game is number 11.
And Gabe Binyard on the first 2 drives, but the Owls were halted on a third down attempt last go around.
And the name of the game, Nolan, is touchdowns. And I look for the Owls to take a shot here fairly early in this drive with how they like to run their offensive scheme.
Binyard sent in motion, handoff right through the middle. And a healthy gain on first down for Coleman Bennett. Joined by Chase Belcher as 2 team captains today, the 2 running backs. Jerry Mack says that's the best tag team 1-2 punch in the league between Bennett and Belcher. Sweep on the edge. Clayton Kopic, stutter step, the freshman. Boost forward for a first down across the 40.
It's one of my favorite plays in all of football, Nolan, is the jet sweep. You just allow your guys to get outside the edge and use their speed and vision to make a play down the field.
Quick pass. Christian Moss getting slippery, sliding through a couple of tacklers. He's down at the 50.
And those short yardage throws where you allow your receivers to have some creativity and use their athletic ability can really turn out into big plays.
And not much on the handoff, but it is enough for a Kennesaw State first down with Brantley Jr., the defensive lineman, coming up with a Bear tackle.
And like I mentioned earlier, Nolan, moments like this when the KSU offense really kind of pick up some steam, make a couple big plays, that's where they'll go to a play action and try to send one down the field.
You noted Gabe Binyard on that 42-yard touchdown pass earlier. The top-graded deep play threat in college football this year. That receiving score his 5th of over 20 yards. Do they go to him here? Odom with time, looking down the field. Guess who? It's Gabe Binyard with a first down inside the 30.
And Gabe came all the way from the far left side. They motioned him in, and then a perfect touch pass by the QB Odom to drop that in a very small window and essentially triple coverage there on the sideline.
That one goes for 21 yards from Odom to Binyard. And Odom has only missed once today, Caleb. And that was on a drop pass from Javon Rogers. Binyard in motion. Handoff Bennett. Cuts back. Bennett remains alive. Tough to bring down Coleman Bennett. 75% of his yards this year have been after contact, and it's Lloyd who hangs on for dear life for the Bears.
Yeah, and you see him there. One of the things that I enjoy to watch in football is a patient running back that uses his vision. And Coleman Bennett did a great job there as he got up in the close to the line of scrimmage. He followed his offensive lineman and bounced it to the edge.
A check here for the Owls offense on 2nd and short. At the Bear 20. Bennett to the outside, uses the stiff arm, then the spin move, absorbs a hard hit, and picks up a KSU first down.
And Jared Lloyd really made him pay for trying to make a move there. As you'll see here, Bennett did a great job again of using his vision, bumping it outside, mean stiff arm, and then boom, stuff. That's one when when you start getting slowed down near the middle of the field, you better keep your head on a swivel.
First down, play action. Odom. Man tries to drag him down, and Amari Odom goes down, and there's the flag for a horse collar. DJ Westlock, the Oregon State transfer, takes down Odom for the sack, but brought him down from the neck plate.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 90. The penalty to be enforced half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
And while he said number 9, that was definitely on number 7, Westlock. But Westlock was lobbying for it to be he said he had the jersey. But regardless, you got the jersey or the actual shoulder pad in the back. Whenever you bring a guy down, and you saw how Amari Odom went down, that's a dangerous way to get tackled, Nolan. And we've seen it between hip drops and people getting tackled from behind their back. It's really dangerous on the lower extremity area, and that's the whole reason for the penalty there, is it can be very detrimental to a player.
Al's 5 of 7 in the red zone last week. Alexander Diggs takes the handoff, 81% on the year. Westlock and Wiest, the 2 defensive linemen, clamping down on Diggs. It's 2nd and goal.
And for the Missouri State Bears here, this is a gotta-have-it situation where you don't want to get behind 3 scores late in the second quarter. And if they do, you really want to hit that 2-minute offense and get the ground running and allow Clark to do what he does if the Owls end up getting some points out of this.
Bullock in motion. Odom, quarterback run. Tries to bounce, and he's stopped along the left side of the line. Kanye Young, and then flags are down with extracurriculars. There's Wiest and Chenault getting tied up. And you heard the crowd's reaction as Odom was pushed backwards.
Yeah, and Chenault may have just been trying to protect and back up his quarterback there. As the extracurriculars go, it's usually the second man that gets called, as we see the officials talking about it over there. But I'm interested to see how this is going to shake out.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 75, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So that makes it 3rd and goal for Kennesaw State with a personal foul on the center, Josiah Chenault.
And you'll see a lot of pushing and pulling there, and Mariota may have had a little bit of maybe a little bit of a flop. Not sure there, but.
And we've reached the 2-minute timeout. A pair of 5-1 teams getting chippy here late in the first half. In Kennesaw, Owls up by 8 points against Missouri State as KSU looks to remain alive for the Conference USA title hunt. Big reason they're in this position is Amari Odom, but in this situation, 6 interceptions on the year for Odom on the road, 5 over the last 2 weeks. They want him here on 3rd and goal. Don't try to be the hero here in an area that he struggled with picks last week at Jack State.
That's right, Nolan. And here is just, and I'm sure they were stressing this on the sideline, it's just, hey, do your job. Play smart football, and if things get out of hand, throw the ball away or get down.
Odom throwing in the right side against the sunlight. It's pulled down at the 10 by Christian Moss. And it'll be 4th and goal as Moss comes up with catch number 3 of the first half.
Missouri State has called a 30-second timeout, their first of the half.
On the far side of the field, you turn and that sun is just baking right into your eyeballs. It's a tough catch to track that football and stay on it.
And Thomas Anderson, the quarterback, shaken up on the play. Former Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week earlier this season at Middle Tennessee with 11 tackles and a pick. The Bears will huddle up here on 4th down. And Caleb, you know that all too well as a former wide receiver as far as fighting off the sunlight.
Sure enough, and right about there where he is right now, it is hard. And the crazy part about it is you see the ball come out of the quarterback's hand, and if it's not low enough, as that ball's traveling through the air, it goes right into the sun and you completely lose it. And then all of a sudden you see it when it's about 3 feet away from you. And if you haven't got your hands in the perfect position to catch it, that thing will eat you up like a shortstop in a funny hop. And Christian Moss did a great job of bringing that one in and maintaining his concentration on that football.
Daniel Kinney on for the field goal attempt, who is perfect this year, 6 of 6. He hit 2 last week in Jacksonville, Alabama. Hold is down from Hewitt, and the kick is off. A little bit of trouble there on the snap and the hold from Noonan to Hewitt, and Kinney misses for the first time in his college career.
And it looked like there may have been something off with the snap, as you noted, Nolan. It was a bit low, and Joshua Hewitt's usually really good about getting that ball up quickly and getting it in place. And you can see here that snap was low and inside. And whenever a long snapper and a holder are paired, the ball is supposed to go right towards that top right hand. And the ball was incredibly low. And what happens is whenever the kicker sees that, immediately in his head, he knows he has to change his cadence approaching the football just a hair. And as we've all seen and all know, kicking is a very intricate piece of this game.
It's a nice word to use right there. It's been tough for KSU this year. Meanwhile, Mo State can tie it up with a touchdown and two-point conversion here. And there's a great start on the strike to Robinson, out of bounds at midfield. 2 timeouts for Missouri State, and now half the field to go.
Now, right there's what Clark is great at, and Coach Beard talked about it, is driving the ball down the field. We had that piece earlier about his efficiency throwing the ball this season, Nolan, and that is what Jacob Clark is so excellent at, is delivering the ball and driving it down the field.
Pocket collapsing, throws a strike, caught by Dash Luke again. It was Luke who had the previous reception, and back-to-back to Dash Luke, the New Orleans native, and here comes Mo State again inside KSU territory.
And the Bears went with the same play 2 plays in a row, the same concept on the back end, and running Dash Luke on that deep crosser across the middle. And they must have seen something they like in the back half of this KSU secondary with their 2 high safeties.
Clark into the flats, incomplete to the running back, Ramon Green Jr.
And an incompletion right there doesn't hurt you, right? There wasn't a whole lot of room for Green Jr. to run. He could have stepped out of bounds, picked up 2 or 3 yards, but in a 2-minute, 1-minute situation, you've got the timeouts, so you're not in a rush, you're not in a hurry, and it stops the clock for you, and Green wouldn't have even picked up that much anyways.
2nd and 10. Clark 9 of 13 for 110 yards today. Surveys, throws, and it's complete. Green shoots upfield with a first down. Owls went for the pick on the far side of the field. Instead, a first down for Missouri State. Milan Jones, the senior, gets the start today. And there's Green zipping upfield. Minute 13 left for Missouri State here. Has not scored a touchdown today. It's been a pair of field goals. But the Bears have it again inside the KSU red zone.
And Jones went with the aggressive approach there. We talked about it early in the game. If you miss, it's high risk, high reward.
Clark, one-on-one ball towards the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Tristan Gardner, the freshman, and Missouri State's within 2 on the road. 19 yards for Conference USA's leading touchdown passer, Jacob Clark. He hooks up with the freshman Gardner.
A perfect throw and route there. You see Gardner give a little shake off the line. He shields the defender, catches it on his outside shoulder on a perfectly placed ball from Clark. That is clinic teach tape between the quarterback and wide receiver. Don't allow the defender to get a hand in there. Great connection and great throw and catch.
1-point ball game here at Fifth Third Stadium in Kennesaw, 14-13. Owls over the Bears. And how quickly things changed, Caleb O'Neill. You go back to 3rd and goal for KSU. Josiah Chenault called for the unsportsmanlike penalty, makes it 3rd and goal from the 21. Trouble with the snap from Rylan Noonan. Daniel Kinney misses for the first time as a collegiate kicker. And then Missouri State, lightning quick on its first touchdown drive of the ball game. 4 plays, 61 yards, and the 19-yard touchdown pass from Clark to Gardner.
And when you have a quarterback like Jacob Clark, who's 11 for 15 today, passing touchdown there, that 1-minute, 2-minute drill is where you can really settle in and find some more comfort whenever the offense hasn't
Number 11 for
well.
Missouri State is
Coach Beard talked this week about how their
93.
offense is tempo and it's a cyclically driven, and it just picks up, and once they start churning, they can move the ball well. And there's no better way to do that than a 2-minute drill where you have a limited set of plays and you can just execute 1 to 2 things at a time, and you don't have to focus on the bigger picture.
And that one hooks just beyond the pylon for a touchback. So Missouri State with 10 unanswered points to make it a 1-point ball game going into the half.
And to repeat what I just said, now you get to see Kennesaw State's opportunity to do the same thing. A 1-minute drill, 2 timeouts, settle into your 5, 10, 12 package plays within your 2-minute drill, and see if you can find your own rhythm to answer here before the half.
3 receivers to the right with Bullock in motion. Odom into the flats, high pass, incomplete to Coleman Bennett. Just the second incompletion for Amari Odom here in the first half.
And Amari did not like what he saw early on in that whole route concept, and he had a little bit of pressure from the backside. So you see him dump it down to his running back, which he didn't do very well last week, Nolan, whenever he was in a high-pressure situation. So that's growth and that's learning, but also you got to complete those.
Empty set here on second down. Odom down the middle. That one's complete to Gabe Binyard, just shy of the 40. It's a first down for KSU.
And a veteran move there by Binyard to complete the catch, get down, spot the ball, and get back on the line of scrimmage.
Odom to pass. Pocket breaking down. Escapes to the right. Flag is down. Odom unloads down the sideline. Incomplete inside the 20. Binyard the intended target, but Laundry in the
Holding.
backfield.
Offense, number 75, 10-yard penalty, first down.
I was about to say, it probably wouldn't have mattered even if they would have connected on that deep pass there and scramble drill. And you see that jersey stretching, and that's going to get called every time, especially in a 2-minute situation, Nolan. And QB rolls out, shifts the pocket. Josiah Chenault just hanging on a little too much curls, you know?
Yeah, they called it on Chenault that you see right there, but that was the right tackle, Nikola Milovitz, 76. Looked like he had the hold. First and long. Odom breaks a couple of tackles. Amari Odom across the 40. Oh, and he barrels off a defender at the 45-yard line. Antonio Smith with hard contact there against Odom.
But you didn't pick up the first, and you didn't stop the clock. Got to go fast.
Clock still running here, as you pointed out. Coleman Bennett spins off 2 tacklers, and Bennett has a first down to the 48. Dylan Dixon credited with the tackle there, and a timeout taken by Kennesaw State, second for the Owls.
Kennesaw State, it's called a 30-second timeout. Their second of the half.
And Amari pulling that ball down and somehow sneaking out of there, and then right here at the end, that is one thing you do not want to see your quarterback take a big hit like that. But one thing I do like is, again, he checked the ball down. He worked through his progression, checked the ball down to Coleman Bennett, let his running back pick up the first down, stop the clock, give you an opportunity to call a timeout. You can come over to the sideline, reset, let your coaches communicate some more scheme and a couple different wrinkles you may want to throw in here to try to take one over the top or make a big play.
Odom missed some time this year with an injury that he suffered here at home when Kennesaw State had jumped out to a 7-game winning streak that was ended last week at Jack State. Kopic in motion out of the backfield. Odom. What a snare by Gabe Binyard, and the ball comes loose. Binyard climbed the ladder, but he could not hang on, with Dylan Dixon, the nickelback and Colorado transfer, jarring it loose.
And just a double curl route on the outside, and it looked like the ball may have just slipped out as Gabriel Binyard went to tuck it. You'll see right here, yep, he just went to tuck the football. And another thing about being a receiver, Nolan, when it gets hot on a day like today, you get sweaty, and that ball can be really slick.
Something you don't expect in late November. Odom feeling some heat in the backfield, and he's swallowed up. Missouri State gets back to the Owl quarterback. Caleb Dietland leads the charge, the defensive end, the senior out of Aurora, Illinois. Kennesaw State takes its final timeout with under 10 seconds
Kennesaw
left.
State is called a 30-second timeout, their final of the half.
And you see up front, there's a twist by the Bears defense, and it just caused the KSU offensive linemen to get a little bit out of position, knowing there was guys reaching outside of their body frame. They weren't prepared for it, and a little bit of eye candy there on the snap got the KSU offense to fall for it. And as a quarterback there, you can't take a sack in a 2-minute drill, and it causes you to burn your last timeout. You've only got 9 seconds. It just makes things that much more challenging to even try to get points on the board. And credit to the Missouri State defense there for getting home and getting the quarterback on the ground.
You don't have to go for the Hail Mary here if you're Kennesaw State. If you feel confident with the field goal unit despite the trouble in the snap operation in the last attempt, Kenny has a long of 50. That was at Indiana. It's a 3rd and 15 here for the Owls, who do not have any timeouts remaining. And Missouri State's Ryan Beard, after seeing the Owls formation, says, I can't take it with me into halftime.
Missouri
He takes
State
the
has
timeout.
called a 30-second timeout, their second of the half.
But if you do throw the Hail Mary if you're Kennesaw State and you're Missouri State, you saw it on film last week, you bat it down.
Yes. Do not go for the interception. If that ball gets floated near or anywhere close to the red zone, just knock it down. Swat it like you're trying to swat that annoying gnat when you're eating outside on the back patio. Get it away as fast as possible and don't try to catch it. And you saw it too with Missouri State last week. It was friendly fire, but one receiver tipped the ball, the other receiver caught it for a big catch and set up a score within the red zone. It's just when that ball gets tipped up in the air, Nolan, you never know what can happen. And if you're Missouri State right here, you're playing volleyball, just spiking that thing straight into the ground.
Receivers stacked on top of each other. Odom, high pass, incomplete, intended for Kopic, and it's 4th down.
And I understand what the Owls were trying to do there, Nolan, just pick up some yardage, get out of bounds, give you a little bit of time to maybe throw one more quick out route and get Kenny within field goal range. But a high pass like that and hands up from the defensive line makes things a lot harder, and here's where we'll see the Hail Mary, I'd bet.
4th and 15 with 6 seconds to go. Jordan Jackson checks in up top for KSU, and Beard again wisely takes the timeout.
Missouri State has called a 30-second timeout, their final of the half.
And all the Mo State coaching staff, Nolan, is saying what we just said. Do not catch this football. Knock it down.
So here's what happened last week in a critical play in the ballgame. Just before the half, the backup quarterback Gavin Wimsatt, who had the bigger arm for Jack State, comes in, and this is exactly what you were talking about here. 3 Owls friendly fire going for the interception into the hands of DeAndre Johnson. And that was just before the half, a game changer of a play for the Gamecocks in a win last week at home.
And you hear coaches across football talk about it, how the last 4 minutes of the first half and the last 4 minutes, or 4 minutes in between halftime, 2-minute drill before half, 2 minutes after half, create some of the biggest momentum swings.
And so the Owls do the same thing here, bringing in Dexter Williams at quarterback. Chase Belcher, the running back. Williams climbing forward in the pocket. He's dancing, he's backpedaling, he's wrapped up, he's sacked on 4th down as the clock winds down. DJ Westlock brings down Dexter Williams.
We've reached the end
and
of the
first half concludes in a fantastic ball game so far, as expected, between a pair of 5-1 teams in Conference USA. It's 14-13 Kennesaw State over Missouri State here at the half.
Something you don't see a whole lot of. The Bears brought pressure on the Hail Mary play. You don't see that a lot. You usually have an extra guy sub in the back end of your defense, but the Bears roll the dice and come out on top there.
And Maria Martin will speak with the Owls head coach Jerry Mack here momentarily to get his thoughts in the first half as KSU goes into the break up by a point, and with that, we will send it down to the field. Here's Maria Martin.
Coach, Missouri State takes under 2 minutes to score their first touchdown of the game right before halftime. How do you go back to affecting their quarterback and their offense, Jacob Clark?
Well, we got to be a little bit more aggressive in that situation. Thought we were a little bit passive. Really good quarterback. We can't let them just dink and dunk the ball down the field in that situation. Just got to be more aggressive.
On the other side, offensively, one of the key points of emphasis for your quarterback, Amari Odom, was not turning the ball over. He hasn't done that, but the offense has hit a lull. How do you get back to the way you were hitting in the first quarter?
We just got to play cleaner. There's a couple of penalties right there that we can't do it in those type of situations. Really, like a lot of the things are self-inflicted. We got to go back and make sure that we calm these guys down, understanding the importance of what's going on, play cleaner brand of football.
Coach, thanks. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Coach Mack. Halftime at Wallens Family Field at Fifth Third Stadium. Missouri State, with an onslaught there at the end, has made it a one-point ball game. We're set for a great second half as the Owls look to make the Conference USA champion. 14-13 the lead for the Owls. Looking at our first half highlights, Caleb, as you noted just a little bit ago, it was a quick start for Kennesaw State after Missouri State scored in the opening field goal. Amari Odom has had great decision making here in the first half.
He has known he's played smart and he's played well. He cuts the ball to the outside, makes his man miss, gets down early, and then here he takes a shot down the field, finds his open receiver, people making plays, and then he drops it in the bucket for a wide-open Clayton Kopic, and then he does it again. Pinpoint accuracy to Gabe Binyard in the back of the end zone, making great touch throws like that right there, and he's doing a good job and showing some love back to his receiver, Gabe Binyard.
Meanwhile, Missouri State taking advantage of Kennesaw State miscues. This was second and goal, about to be third and goal from the 5. A personal foul backs up the Owls, and then trouble in the field goal operation. Daniel Kenny, the freshman out of the Knoxville, misses for the first time in his career. And then 2-minute offense, Jacob Clark, smooth and in control, as Maria Martin told you earlier. The 7th-year senior dissects the Owls defense, leads Missouri State on its first touchdown drive late in the second quarter, finding the freshman Tristan Gardner. And that's how we've arrived to a 14-13 ball game here between a pair of 5-1 teams in Conference USA play. This is a Missouri State team that gives up the most sacks in Conference USA. So far, they're doing a better job of getting the backfield to the quarterback than Kennesaw State, a team that has given up the least amount of sacks in Conference USA play.
They have known that was a focus for each coaching staff coming into this game, is you've got to disrupt the game by bringing down the quarterback, and the Bears have done a great job of getting out of the den and making some tackles in the backfield.
Missouri State in white, Kennesaw State in black, where the Owls look to remain undefeated at home this year. Albeit with a kickoff, Davis Bryson on the return from the front door of his own end zone. To the 20, Bryson across the 25, just shy of the 30, and we'll send it down to the sidelines. Here's Maria Martin for an update. Maria.
Nolan, I just talked to Missouri State head coach Ryan Beard, and he said that touchdown that they scored in just under 2 minutes to go before halftime showed a lot of resiliency by his offense. But he said, look, we got to get into a rhythm on both sides of the ball. He needs to rely on his playmakers more, talking about his quarterback, Jacob Clark. They do that really well. He credited the offensive line, said they've done a really good job, wants to go back to establishing the run, and he left me with this thought. Keep fighting, play hard, and anything can happen.
Thank you, Maria. And that's the phrase for Missouri State, right, Caleb? Out-hit, out-hustle?
Sure enough, and out-hustled the KSU offense right there early.
It's Tim Brantley Jr., the junior out of Allen, Texas, bringing down Coleman Bennett.
And the Owls are looking to go fast here to get things back rolling in their favor.
Quick pass, Bennett out of the backfield. Into traffic, reaches across the 30 and climbs forward to about the 32. Third and medium here for Kennesaw State.
And a great job there by the nickel, number 9, Dylan Dixon, to get off of that block and really blow up that quick pass to the edge there and give the Owls nowhere to go. He did a great job of reading that play, making a move, and causing Clayton Kopic to whiff on a block there on the edge.
Kennesaw State 2 of 5 on third downs in the first half. They've missed their last 3. Odom looking to the far side. One-on-one ball for Binyard, and it's broken up, incomplete. Nice play out in the perimeter by Jordan Dunbar, who's second in Conference USA, 10th nationally in passes defended per ball game. Coaches loved his ability to press and read based off splits, and that time he comes up with a big third down play.
Dunbar was out on an island, completely isolated with one of KSU's most dynamic receivers, and he did a fantastic job of staying in phase, wrapping the hip, swatting the ball as it was coming in, and not causing early contact and drawing a penalty.
Hewitt to punt. A big KSU bounce, picked up by Dash Luke, and he scoots out of bounds. 44-yard punt for the senior Joshua Hewitt.
So here we go, Nolan. We get to see Missouri State's offense all over again after they had some great success going quick, pushing the ball down the field, and making some big-time throws across the middle of the field from Clark. And if you're Missouri State here, you've got to feel good about this drive. You just forced a stop. You came up big on third down with one of your playmakers, as Coach Beard talked about, and now you're going to go back to your guys here and allow someone to make a big play.
Clark over 7,000 career passing yards, needed 51 entering today. But they go on the ground on first down. Shamari Lawrence rumbles ahead for a first down. That's big for this Missouri State offense. If they can stay balanced and be unpredictable when it comes to the pass game, Clark is almost impossible to stop.
Oh, yeah. And if Missouri State can get that run game moving like they just did, they can pick up a 10-yard gain, 7-yard gain. It's going to completely wide open the playbook and allow many more options for pushing that ball. And when Clark has options, he's incredibly lethal.
This past week he was named the Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week, the Manning Award National Quarterback of the Week, and the Frisco Bowl Player of the Week. Throws off the back foot there. He finds Luke dragging across the middle, and Luke is tagged down after about an 8-yard pickup by Taiwan Christopher.
And Luke has been all over the place in the middle of the field in this KSU too-high defense, and that's what offenses like this really like to exploit, the middle of the field when you go too high, because your safeties are going to split, your corners are going to drop, and it leaves vulnerabilities in the middle of the field, and you have to rely on your linebackers, and Luke's doing a great job of finding those creases and getting in the open windows.
He's shifty, 5'8", 175-pound senior out of New Orleans. Lawrence cuts to the backside with a stiff arm. Lawrence inside KSU territory. Oh, he's still alive inside the 30, and finally tracked down by Rod Daniels at the 25. Biggest gain of the afternoon for Shamari Lawrence.
Yep, and you'll see here, he just used his vision, bumped it to the outside, made a great move to get away from Tavion Lawson and cut back on the edge.
Officials timeout on the field for a defensive injury prior to the ball being spotted.
And it's Tylon Dunlap who's injured for Kennesaw State.
And that's a big part of this KSU's defense is Christopher there, and he's or that's not Christopher, pardon me, but he's tough. Tylon Dunlap up on the front of that defense, he's a big part of those stunts they do up front and on with their twists, and an edge rusher, and hopefully he's all right, and you hate to see a guy like that go down.
Yeah, he's such a big part. He's third in Conference USA in sacks, you see, with 5 in the season, 6th in TFL, but he's also a vocal leader, more so this year than he was in the past for the Georgia State transfer. And good to see Dunlap able to walk it off towards the outside line.
Keith Mize there and Dr. K on staff for the Kennesaw State Owls. Those are some of the nicest people we've met as we go around and call these games, Nolan. Talked with them a little bit before the game, and they're just good people.
So much more than the coaches and the players in the field. You look at both support staffs here in this transition from FCS to FBS. They say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to bump up to the FBS.
It does, Nolan, and it's hundreds of people that don't get recognized, don't get their name on a screen, but they're part of the success of each of these programs and every program in the country.
Fourth play of the drive for the Bears, looking to take the lead for the first time since the opening drive as Clark checks at the line. Out of an empty set. Clark scans across the middle, caught at the 20-yard line. First down for the Bears as Jamari A. Robinson spins out of bounds.
And you see Jacob Clark up there checking, cross, whatever he's saying at the line of scrimmage. And they went with a mesh concept, which they crossed across the middle of the field. And when the Owls stay in this cover 2 defense, you're going to get those middle crossing routes shallow. So when your safeties bail, your linebackers drop into their coverage, it leaves that 5 to 7 yard range wide open. And if your receiver can beat his defender across the field and find that window, it's going to be wide open every time.
Second and short, Shamari Lawrence is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Good cleanup there from Taiwan Christopher, who the defensive coordinator Mark Mattioli told us he's grown light years since he entered the starting lineup after Garland Binyard was lost against FIU with a season-ending injury.
Those are big shoes to fill. Garland Binyard has been a staple for this Kennesaw defense for years now, Nolan. And don't want to miss here that it's another 3rd down. 3rd and 1, knocking on the door of the red zone. Huge play here for the momentum of this second half.
Bears struggling on 3rd downs this season. Luke in motion. Lawrence to the right side, has a 1st down, then some more. And he's swiped down at the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for Missouri State. Jones, the safety, slides in for KSU.
No struggles there, Nolan. Just straight power football off the edge. You'll see here, block down, cut outside, and pick up the 1st down, get a 1st and goal from the 10. This Missouri State offense is rolling right now.
Lawrence looking for back-to-back 100-yard games, had a season high last week in the win over UTEP. 25 carries for 109 yards. 1st and goal from the 10. Clark looking right, pumps, throws, end zone, has a man, diving attempt in the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri State. The Bears go back on top.
Jacob Clark, lethal when he has time. His offensive line protects him perfectly. The Owls bring pressure. They blitz both of their middle backers here. They twist them. Everything's picked up, accounted for. Runs a deep end route, connects with his guy, Jamari Robinson, in the back of the end zone. Laser strike by Jacob Clark.
He's had a catch in 33 straight games. That's his 5th receiving score of the year for Jamari A. Robinson, and career touchdown reception number 14.
And Coach Beard talked about it with Maria. Going to go back to his big-time playmakers, and what do they do on that drive? Rely on their playmakers.
Obeid on for the PAT, and Mo State has taken a 6-point lead. 17 unanswered for the visitors out of Springfield, Missouri. Clark looking, finds his favorite target. Robinson in the back of the end zone, and Missouri State has rallied back to take the lead. Missouri State has taken the lead. For the Bears, it's 17 unanswered points. They've won 5 straight ball games, sitting at 5-1 here in Conference USA, and right now, well, the trajectory to pass their season numbers for an offense that's continued to evolve under Jacob Clark, returning as a starter this year. You see him on the sideline, led by the offensive coordinator, Nick Petrino. A Missouri State team that weathered an early storm for Kennesaw State, trailing 14-3, and again, it goes back to that comfort that they found in that 2-minute drill.
Sure enough, it really primed the pump for the Bears, and Jacob Clark, he really just found his stride, and the offense has been rolling ever since.
A return, the first of the season for Josh Williamson, the former walk-on out of Greater Atlanta Christian School, who spent his first year as a student at Kennesaw State. He's going to run track. He's a track standout for the GSC Spartans along with the gridiron. And filling in here with Cody Jones out today for the Owls, gets his first kickoff return.
And good for him. Normally in a situation like that, Nolan, everyone on the return team is told, fair catch the ball if it's coming to you unless you're one of the deep guys. But great job by an awareness there to catch that ball, pick up some positive yardage, and give them some great field position here.
Starting around the 40, handoff. Gabe Binyard on the sweep, wants the edge, turns upfield at the 45 and shoved out of bounds inside Bear territory. Looking like Binyard is freshman year. Here's a slot back in the Owls' old flexbone offense.
Yeah, went with the power read and Oh, again, I love a jet sweep. And you let Gabe Binyard get loose on the edge, he's going to make you pay every time like he did right there.
Down to the 43 of Missouri State. Handoff, Chase Belcher bounces off a blocker, and Belcher climbs forward inside the 40-yard line. It's Westlock who hangs on for the Bears.
And Belcher really stumbled there after he got the ball. That was kind of interesting as to what just happened, but he did a great job keeping his feet. Shout out to his athletic ability and balance to find it.
Back to Belcher along the right side, and Belcher able to find a hole. He's just shy of the first down marker. It's Lloyd, the linebacker, who wraps him up. Belcher's seen an increased role for Kennesaw State. You go back to that FIU game. For Belcher, in the last 4 games, averaging 14 carries and 80 yards a contest, the Owls bring in a heavy set with an extra offensive lineman, Renee Miller.
The officials holding the ball until we get everybody subbed in and out. And it's something you see, Nolan, in gameplay and scheme and coaching is if an offense that goes fast like the Owls sub, people take their time bringing people in.
On 3rd and short, ground and pound, Missouri State builds a wall up front, and the Owls will be faced with a 4th down.
And there was a lot moving on both sides of the ball there. The Owls subbed, the Bears subbed. It looked like people weren't sure about where to line up, and huge stop there for the Missouri State Bears. And decision time now for the KSU offensive staff on how do you want to do this. The run game has been decent, but it hasn't been stellar. You've had a couple tackles for loss in the run game, but you've had a couple sacks. Tough place to be here.
KSU 54% on 4th downs this year. On a 4th and 1, handoff through the middle, and a great surge from the offensive line. Away forward to black jerseys, picks up a Kennesaw State 1st down on the Belcher handoff.
And that was a throwback to when the Owls used to run the flex bone, Nolan. It was the same formation. You just drop them in the backfield and low man wins. It's almost like the tush push you see every week in the NFL of you just got to get lower than the other guy and get your first step in the ground. That's why a lot of folks do those board drills during practice and in the preseason. It teaches you to stay low, get your first step in the ground, because whoever gets their first step and their momentum going first is usually going to win that battle.
1st down for Kennesaw State. Odom wants to pass. Pocket breaking down, and Odom squeezed down. Another sack for Mo State. Bears get to Odom for the 4th time in the ballgame. Caden Wiest, the sophomore out of Reed Springs High School in Missouri.
And nowhere to go, and as a quarterback, that internal clock has got to be going off, which you see it did, but just a great job there by Wiest to fall off his block and make that tackle as Amari was trying to escape the pocket. And the defense has been playing great for Missouri State.
On 2nd down, Odom pass behind Gabe Binyard, who goes behind the back and is able to pull it in for a reception. What a snag by the senior Binyard.
Great play, and just to help make it 3rd and somewhat manageable on this 3rd and long, Nolan. And you'd love to see him catch that ball and maybe pick up a few or try to make a play, but just great hands and hand-eye coordination to reel that one in.
The Owls haven't picked up a 3rd down conversion since the touchdown pass to Gabe Binyard in the 1st quarter. Ryan Beard wanted a timeout, and he is granted the timeout. See, Beard came sprinting in, taking his
Missouri
first time
State,
out of the half.
Timeout, their first of the half.
And with that, we'll step aside in this critical 3rd down juncture. Missouri State looking to preserve the lead here on the road. Lived in the Kennesaw State backfield today. 4 sacks for the Bears. Coming into today, Caleb O'Neal, Missouri State only averaged 1.7 a contest. They've done a great job getting around the KSU tackles.
They have, and they've done a lot of stunts up front, Nolan, to really, like I said earlier, to give some eye candy to that offensive line, but also occasionally bringing a backer off the edge to throw that added wrinkle in there to keep this Kennesaw State offensive line on their toes, and they've done a great job.
Kennesaw State has given up the least amount of sacks in Conference USA, but nearly half that total here against Missouri State with 4 by the Bears. A 3rd and 8 here for Kennesaw State, again, who has missed its last 5 3rd down attempts. Odom with a blitz coming, throws, has a man inside the 10. It's Gabe Binyard who scores for the 2nd time today. Another 3rd and long conversion from Odom to Binyard. That one goes for 31 yards, and KSU ties it up here in the 3rd.
Gabe Binyard on an island, single coverage, 3rd and long. What do? You get the snap, look the safety off, and float one up there, drop it in a bucket, and let him do his thing and get loose and reel it in. Give him 6.
So Kenny looks to give Kennesaw State the lead, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. We remain tied at 20 as Missouri State blocks it, tries to return it, and taken down. Huge PAT attempt denied. Ahmad Poole gets in there for the Bears.
Just blew it up. Throws the guard down from KSU, gets both hands on the football, and Kanye Young scooping it up, trying to make something happen there.
So 2nd time Kennesaw State has struggled in the kicking game after missing a field goal late in the 2nd quarter, and then Ahmad Poole pushes forward, comes up with a blocked PAT, and we're tied at 20 with 5:20 to go.
And at 6 foot, 300 pounds, Ahmad Poole is a large man, and he put every bit of ounce of muscle he had into that one. Did a great job busting through the KSU line.
So Brett Williams here to kick it off in a tie ball game. 8 plays, 61 yards, 4:04 off the clock on the Kennesaw State scoring march. And special teams woes continue for Kennesaw State as that one lands to the left of the pylon and out of bounds.
And the tides are starting to turn, Nolan. While the Owls had a lot of momentum there, it feels like
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down, Missouri State.
it feels like some of the air was just sucked right out of this stadium as soon as that ball got blocked, and then you kick one out of bounds on the kickoff.
So 20-20 our score. It's the one area that's hurt Kennesaw State throughout this year. Special teams, especially in the kicking part of it, and the field goal unit. Extra point here today for KSU has left points on the field. Clark following the play action. Has it tipped in the air, pinballed around and almost intercepted. And a flag down in the far side of the field.
Dangerous play there by Clark, throwing the ball late. When you throw one that late, you never know where folks are going to be coming from. And the KSU defense, great job of getting a hand on the ball. And that's always a hot potato drill. Who can grab it? Who can grab it? And right there, nobody can grab it.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 51. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
This is on the tackle, the 5th penalty for Missouri State. 5 Hamilton batting it up in the air. Hobson tried to go for the pick.
And right there, while that ball's floating high in the air, all 7, 8 people from each team there just, oh man, I got to get it. And nobody could bring her down.
1st and 15. Pocket breaking down. Clark off the back foot again down the middle. Able to pick up the penalty and a little bit more as Christopher comes up with a tackle for Kennesaw State. That time is the running back Lawrence. And Caleb, you talked about at the middle of the field. There's been some tight windows, but Clark has been able to find his man, normally Luke, that time Lawrence.
He has. He's done a great job. The problem with middle field routes is they take a little while to develop. And this offensive line for the Bears have protected Clark well, as we've noted multiple times. And if you give a guy like Clark time to let these routes play out, he will just kill you with these middle field routes, and he's doing a great job.
The Rockwall, Texas native checking here at the line. Play clock ticking down. And flags are down.
False start.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that's on one of the leaders up front, Big E, Eric Cade. And what's happened traditionally with these false starts today for Missouri State, it's been right after Clark makes these checks and the play clock is ticking down, Caleb.
It has its you appreciate the football IQ of these Missouri State offensive players of knowing, hey, we got to go, we got to get things rolling, but you've got to still execute in those crunch time moments, even when it's down to 1-2 seconds.
2nd and 11 for the Bears. Clark pumps, throws, high pass. That one's picked off by Barron Hobson of Kennesaw State. He was denied earlier on the tip. That time he pulls down the rebound. And the leading tackler for the Owls, Barron Hobson, has his first interception. Big play for the Kennesaw State defense, looking to turn the tides and regain the lead here at home. Barron Hobson has done everything in his career, Caleb O'Neal. Over 100 tackles this season, over 200 in his career. Fumble recovery, forced fumble, has not had an interception. He came so close first play of the drive. Tip drill almost had it. A couple plays later, this time he would not be denied off the deflection.
Sure enough, good old-fashioned tip drill, baby. You see them practice it every week across all levels of football, and great job by Barron Hobson on the focus, concentration, being where you're supposed to be, and good players are just around the football, Nolan, and Barron Hobson finally got his opportunity to reel one in.
And has his first career interception, began his collegiate career after taking Lee County here in Georgia to the state title game at 17. With Deion Sanders at Jackson State. He wanted to play FBS football, transferred to KSU when the Owls had recently announced they were moving up to Conference USA. He's been a huge part of the defense, and here comes some trickeration. An end around to Gabe Binyard, who uses a stiff arm and is out of bounds at the 30.
And Gabe Binyard almost had a chance to break that one all the way out the back end of that end zone, but great job there by number 14, busting through Thomas Anderson, I believe.
He was shaken up in the first half. And how many times do you see that after a sudden change, you go to a little trickeration offensively?
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time, Nolan. It's either trickeration or take a shot. And there was a little bit of mix of both.
Kopic in motion. Odom struggled with the snap, climbs forward, throws inside the 10, and what a catch from the running back, Chase Belcher, mossing the defender. Goes over the top of Dylan Dixon and makes it a 1st and goal, looking like a receiver instead of a running back there.
And there was so much, who knows what was happening there, between the fumbled snap and the perfect ball.
And they'll blow this play dead.
Warning to the offense for snapping the ball prior to officials being ready to officiate.
Well, that's a first. As far as the up-tempo Kennesaw State offense this year, and you get a chorus of boo birds here in Kennesaw.
And Belcher on that replay, high points the ball, one-legged jump, twists midair on his head top. Man, that's a great play and just a true example of his athleticism in Chase Belcher.
Catch number 6 of the year. Handoff goes to Belcher here on 1st and goal. And he stood up at the 5-yard line. Kanye Young, the linebacker, leads the way for Mo State.
And back to that play again, I want to talk one more time about it. The snap was fumbled by Amari Odom. He had to step up in the pocket. Everything was out of sorts. And to deliver that ball and for Belcher to make that play, that's for KSU, that's what they need in a moment like this where they've been struggling offensively.
Receiver switch with Bullock going outside. This is a run by Amari Odom, and Odom is tagged down inside the 5-yard line. Defensive line was quick there for Missouri State. It's 3rd and goal. And there's an Owl shaken up on the play.
Officials timeout on the field for an offensive injury prior to the ball being spotted.
And that's the center, Josiah Chenault, who's one of the best pass blockers outside the Power 4. 11th best grade in the group of 6.
And just as an offense in general, your center is your anchor. Your center is what your whole offense flows through your center, quite literally and figuratively. And for the Owls, that'd be a huge loss for them if he were to have to sit out for majority of this game.
Able to hop up, though, for a player that Jerry Mack has commended for his preparation, said he wants to be a coach one day. Already starts to act like it in the film room and around the offices. Here it is.
Yeah, he got rolled up on from behind a little bit. You see it every weekend. And that's one of the unfortunate truths about football, especially when you get down in the red zone and you're in the trenches. Just people fall and people get landed on.
So Cameron Williams comes in as the center, and Williams has a lot of experience transferring as a 4-year starter at Alabama A&M. But a tough way to come in here with a new center on 3rd and goal from the 4. Tie ball game late in the 3rd. Bullock in motion. Odom slips a tackle in the backfield, bounces outside. A foot race for the edge. Amari Odom dives, and he scores. He's got the power, he's got the speed, he's got the dance moves, and he gives Kennesaw State a 3rd quarter lead.
And OC Mitch Militello decides to call his QB's number one more time. He's done it all season long, made guys miss, hit the left joystick, juke back and forth, shaked and baked, and he showed right there why he's lethal in the red zone when he tucks the football.
Britton Williams converts the PAT. And Kennesaw State, after giving up 17 unanswered to Missouri State, scores 13 unanswered on a 3rd and goal. Both touchdowns coming on 3rd down conversions here in the 3rd quarter. That time, Amari Odom. The stiff arm, the speed, the shield from Moss. And here's Superman coming on your screen.
And a high IQ play there by Christian Moss to not shove that defender, Nolan. You noted it. He put his arms out to where he didn't get a holding call, didn't get a block in the back, and just basketball screened. And that is true teach tape for a wide receiver in the red zone on a big 3rd down.
Quick drive for Kennesaw State, capitalizing on the Barron Hobson interception as Amari Odom scores in the ground for the 6th time this year. Part of 4 total touchdowns for Odom. He's 18 of 23 passing for 268 yards and 3 scores, 2 to Gabe Binyard. As Williams launches the kickoff here for a touchback. In some ways, Caleb, this feels like we're hooping it over at VyStar Arena. This has just turned into a game of runs.
It has. It's been streaky on each side of the ball. The defense is streaky. The offense is streaky. Missouri State streaky. Kennesaw State streaky.
But nobody's streaking.
No, hopefully not. But it seems to me like it's one of those games where it could be a who gets the ball last type of situation, or who could get another turnover. You never know.
First play of the drive, play action. Clark down the middle, finds the tight end. Across midfield, a huge gain on 1st down to the freshman, Jaron Askren.
And there it is again. Clark to Askren in the middle of the field. They scored touchdowns on it last week. They hit KSU with it early in this game. Have a little candy from the savvy QB who's flash fake, spin around. Laser to your guy right across the middle.
Ryan Beard feels like using the tight end as a lost art in college football. Gives the Bears a real advantage. And it moves Missouri State inside KSU territory. Quick pass out on the perimeter and a stiff arm following the reception by Makai Cope.
Quick pass there, staying on schedule. That's a pre-snap read. You got the quick out on the outside. Who has the most cushion and what's the shortest throw? Weigh your options, catch, snap, deliver the ball, keep the offense moving. Great job there by Clark, showing why he's so good at what he does.
Missouri State's won 5 straight games, 4 straight on the road. Its 1st year in the league. Ineligible for postseason play, but has filed an appeal to try to get to a bowl game. Bears want to claim the regular season. They said even if we can't play for a title, they'll know who the best team in the league is. And Clark looking end zone, has his man caught for a touchdown. Tristan Gardner scores for the second time today. Another lightning quick drive from Mo State, and we're an extra point away from another tie game.
And Missouri State giving Kennesaw State a taste of their own medicine, going fast, and on the edge you'll see a double move, post route attacking the middle of the field with two high safeties. Jacob Clark delivering a dime, dot in the end zone. Great route by Gardner.
We're knotted at 27. Just like a basketball game. More streaky play here. Quick drive for Missouri State. As they say in Springfield, these aren't your grandpa's Missouri State Bears. Program that's been along for a long, long time. Has not had a lot of football success, but under Ryan Beard, it's been a steady climb for the Bears. And they have made a loud appearance in their first year
checking into the game
here in
number
Conference
93.
USA.
And that's something right there. 3 plays, 75 yards in 39 seconds. That's moving the football. I think any offensive coordinator, any staff in the world would love to have stats like that.
And that's what Missouri State is able to do. This is a team that has sustained drives week in and week out. Last week against UTEP, 4 drives over 10 plays. But they're top 25 in the nation with 40 explosive plays this year.
They are. They can take the top off of the defense really quick, and they've shown that all night or all day today, that if you give a little bit, show a little bit of weakness on the back end of your defense, they will exploit it to the max.
Bryson on the return. To the 20. Bryson brings a defender with him across the 30-yard line. And we've got a lot of late flags with jawing going on inside the outside line.
A lot of extracurricular. Kickoffs are where a lot of folks get fired up while they're out there, and they may not get to touch the field a whole lot, so they get their opportunity. They've got a lot of energy, but a bit of a lapse of discipline there by whoever this is on.
After the play, there was a foul by each team. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Missouri State, number 24. Also personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kennesaw State, number 39. Those penalties offset. First down, Kennesaw State.
Kayla, this is what you get sometimes. You're playing a meaningful game in the month of November between two teams that the outside prognosticators did not predict. They were picked last and dead last in the first bowl confidence index of the season, but here they are looking to etch their name in the Conference USA record books for an upstart year in 2025. Play action, Odom, quick pass, and it's dropped. Christian Moss has the Owls' third dropped pass of the afternoon.
If you're an Owl fan, that's not what you want to see to start this drive, Nolan. And Christian Moss hit right in the hands, had plenty of room to maybe pick up a first down, and it just slows things down, in which the Owls have been pretty consistent that they'll get hot and slow down, get hot and slow down.
Oh, annihilating the backfield. Belcher is eaten up by Tim Brantley Jr. Read that one like a book. And that will send us to the fourth quarter. Brantley gives the Bears a bang.
We've reached the end.
And we'll head to the fourth quarter. And we've got a good one for you. Knotted at 27. Odom and the Owls with a strong third quarter. But Clark and the Bears come right back. A quarterback duel here in Kennesaw takes us to the fourth. Block. A look at some notable teams their first year in the FBS. Georgia Southern about a decade ago. James Madison had an early jump. There you see Kirk Snetti, what he did with the Dukes. Jack State most recently in Conference USA. All found their way to the postseason. And here's Missouri State, its first year in Conference USA since joining the league from the Missouri Valley. Has filed an appeal for bowl eligibility. 5-1 in the league, tied with Kennesaw State. in the conference, standing 7-3 on the season, winners of 5 straight, 4 straight on the road, tied at 27 with Kennesaw State here to begin the 4th quarter.
Whole lot of tied going on there, Nolan. Tied for 2nd place, tied at 27.
Odom feeling the heat. Missouri State's been all over him today as he throws this one into the sideline. The Bears were looking for their 5th sack of the day, and Kennesaw State with a 3-and-out.
Amari Odom begging for a roughing the passer call there, but good job by escaping the pocket and getting rid of that ball, flipping your hips and really driving the ball all the way out of bounds. You'll see here they twisted up front again. They held up and spied him as he released, and then he just threw the ball away. Last week, Nolan, he had 3 interceptions, throw it off his back foot, didn't really drive and push the ball out of bounds. There, he corrected it.
Hewitt to punt. High. Luke runs up for the fair catch into traffic. He pulls it down with the flag.
Got to
More
give him
special teams trouble for Kennesaw State.
Yeah, got to give him room to catch the ball on the fair catch. And
Kick catching interference. Kicking team number 21, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So Missouri State will start in plus territory. Here's the new AD for Missouri State, Patrick Ransdell, on the appeal for bowl eligibility. And he had noted in his press conference, again, as you see here on the quote, that back when this rule was instituted, the 2-year transition eligible for a bowl, it made sense then for teams not to load up, try to make the jump to FBS when it wasn't sustained. But as he says here, we live in a completely different world. And the head coach, Ryan Beer, noted, for relevant rules, this is not one. So see what happens with the Bears. They look for the win here with Chickeration on the reverse. The flea flicker. Clark goes back to Dash Luke with a convoy ahead. Luke inside the 30, picks up a block and takes it down inside the KSU red zone with the flag down.
yeah, they're going to be a hold, going to get some, potentially a hold, maybe a block in the back, but going to take some yardage off of this one probably.
Holding offense number 54, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st down.
It's on the guard, Matthew Green, who started the last 5 for the Bears.
And a really unique play design here with the with the reverse throwback, turn it into a screen, release your whole offensive line, and guys get downfield. And right there, that's a ticky-tack call, but essentially he did tackle him, I guess. But man, a fortunate break for the Owls there after their special teams woes set up an excellent opportunity for the Bears.
From the 28, handoff to Lawrence, slips one tackle, tries to get out of his second, he cannot. Adam Watkins, the senior out of Tequila, drags him down.
But if you're Missouri State here, you've got to feel like this. You're in control of this game. You're in the driver's seat with how well your offense is moving the ball down the field. Your quarterback is commanding his throws, making excellent checks, pushing the ball down the field, and your running backs are, outside of that last play, picking up 3 to 7 yards a carry.
That one goes for 3, 2nd and 7 for Mo State. Play action. Clark fires in the run, open man, and the tight end with great footwork brings it down inside the 10. Askren, a toe-touch grab. The freshman spins around, shows the body control, and here come the Bears.
And a perfectly placed ball there by Clark. Back shoulder throw to keep him away from the safety, and Askren, that's good on Sundays. 2 feet down, excellent balance and athletic ability, hand-eye coordination, any adjective you want to think of, throw it in there, and it fits.
His 4th snag of the day. 1st and goal for Mo State, looking to go back on top. Blitz coming. Traffic in the backfield, and he's tackled down for a loss. Barron Hobson, who had the interception earlier, slings down Lawrence. 2nd and goal.
And Barron Hobson initially ran into a wall of a left guard and tackled, more of a combo block really on him, ran into a wall, and he somehow just bounced off like a bouncy ball and made a great tackle for loss in the backfield there.
Jerry Mack looking on in his first year, trying to take Kennesaw State to a Conference USA title game. Owls have to win this one. 4 receivers in the formation for Clark. Another check at the line, play clock ticking down. 3 seconds, 2, 1, here's the snap. Blitz coming, Clark throws and a miscommunication. 3rd down.
And Clark signaling that he's wanting something from the sideline. That he made a check there, last second snapped the ball, and Tristan Gardner, who already has a touchdown catch, he's been making plays all day, just wasn't on the same page and couldn't make it happen. And that's a critical error in the red zone, Nolan. And now it's 3rd down and doing it all over again.
Goal to go from the 12. Clark looking left, across the middle, has his man, caught, he rumbles forward, flag is down, and he's marked just short of the goal line. Gardner so close to his 3rd touchdown grab of the day, but let's check the flag.
He tried to make up for it there, but it's got to be an illegal procedure penalty or a pick route, illegal contact, something, however they're going to word it.
Pass interference, offense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, 3rd down.
And you'll see the rub route, and you'll see number 0, Jamarie Robinson, run into both of the KSU defenders. And in that scenario, if you contact with him and you force the contact with the defender, Nolan, they're going to drop the flag on you. But if you try to avoid and the defender runs into you, if you don't touch, if you just like stop your route and don't make physical contact, it's a clean legal route. But there, he ran into both of them, and they're going to get you on that every time.
3rd and goal from the 27. This is Jalen Milroe territory. We're tied at 27. Robinson sent in motion. Clark looks to pass. He fires inside the 20. It's caught and he's quickly shoved down. Jericho Washington pushes down the Georgia Tech transfer James Blackstreet. And it's 4th and goal.
Back to special teams. You got to execute here on either side of the ball. If you're Missouri State, hey, you need to take the lead. You've got to just get your 3 points and take what you can get. If you're the Owls here, there's already been plenty of woes on your special teams. Here, just do your job and don't do anything extra, because you don't need to give them anything free on a field goal after making a big stop.
OB looking to go 3 for 3 today, and it's blocked. And picked up at the 1-yard line. 5 Hamilton on the return, and Hamilton brings it out near the 25. Special teams, troublesome for each side. Great plays up front on field goals and PATs. And Adam Watkins has his 2nd blocked field goal this season. We remain tied at 27. We talked about this being like a basketball game. Well, this time Kennesaw State comes up with a big block, and it's Adam Watkins. His 2nd block of the year. Of course, there on replay, that one might have been Tylon Dunlap. Either way, it's huge for Kennesaw State. Watkins walks off celebrating, and for the Owls, this is a must-win ball game. There's the 2 seniors up front doing their part to help Kennesaw State remain in contention for a Conference USA championship game. Gotta win today if you want to play for the title in your 2nd year in the league.
Must have it, gotta have it, and what better opportunity than blocking a field goal in the 4th and getting the ball back.
Odom, quick pass. Gabe Binyard with the reception. Binyard's had a huge day on senior day. 166 all-purpose yards prior to that reception. He scored twice today through the air. For Binyard, it's his 6th career 100-yard receiving game. 4th time that's happened this year. And a breakout year for the senior out of Ocilla, Georgia. As the Owls try the ground, and it's been tough today. Chase Belcher with tough sledding. Jared Lloyd the linebacker to Daytona Beach, stuffs him along the right side. It's third down.
And as you see there, the Owls haven't had a bunch of big yardage on the rushing front tonight. They've kind of struggled a little bit to run the football, and here on third and medium, they're probably going to go back to the air again.
Odom on a rollout. Throws Belcher's wide open. A first down for Chase Belcher along the sideline, and Belcher runs over the defender across the 50. Another huge snag for Chase Belcher, and it's a chain mover for KSU.
And you see the Owls get Amari Odom outside the pocket in case he needs to run it. You got Gabe Binyard picking up a block downfield, and then Belcher punishing the defender downfield.
Binyard on the sweep. Pulls off the blocker and slides his way to the 46-yard line. Short gain in the play, strung out by Dylan Dixon.
And you see the entire defensive line trade out here for the Bears, and they're getting their people in. The Owls subbed one guy, and that's part of the game here, is you want to have certain defensive packages in on this KSU offense on certain down and distances so that you can play to their strength but also play to your strength and try to counter whatever they're trying to do.
Even on the scoreboard, even just about in total yardage. It's been a great one today here in Kennesaw. On the handoff, Coleman Bennett stutters, tries to run ahead, and he's tugged back. Forward progress for Coleman Bennett is down to about the 43. Third down again for Kennesaw State.
The interior of that Mo State defensive line there, the fresh guys coming in, fresh legs, great job there stuffing that run, and back in decision time, critical moments, third down.
Do they look to Binyard there on the outside? The leading receiver today with 7 catches. Odom breaks out of a tackle, dances ahead at the 40. He's pushed forward. He's shy of the marker to the 39. Westlock, the defensive end, chased him down, had a huge game last week. And this time he forces a fourth down. Offense stays in the field here for KSU.
And Gabe Binyard, as you noted, Nolan, and that spot, man, it's close. But Gabe Binyard was on the island, and Missouri State blitzed the safety. If they continue to do that into the boundary, this KSU offensive staff will peep that and throw another shot over the top to Gabe Binyard.
Fourth and short for Kennesaw State. Already a fourth down conversion today and a tie ball game. Odom, quarterback keeper, a foot race, a stiff arm. He extends, and he has a first down.
Odom, no stranger to a race to the corner and a mean stiff arm. Got it done in the end zone earlier and does it there in a big-time play on fourth down.
It's against McGuire Neal, who missed the first half coming off a targeting ejection last week against UTEP. Drive continues for Kennesaw State. 7 minutes left in the ball game. Odom climbs forward, scans. He lobs it for the end zone. One-on-one ball off the fingertips of Christian Moss.
That's such a tough throw to make as a quarterback. You're running forwards towards the line of scrimmage, and Amari Odom put the perfect touch on it and just threw it about a foot too far. And Christian Moss was covered pretty heavily there by McGuire Neal and just barely out of reach. Such a tough throw and catch there, and the Owls just couldn't bring it in.
Belcher in motion. Odom throws out of the backfield. Clayton Kopic with the catch, and Kopic maneuvers for a first down for KSU. Oh no, they're going to call him just short of the first down marker. Third and less than a foot for KSU.
And going back to the first half there, Amari Odom worked all the way through his read progression on that route there and made it all the way to Kopic out on the edge.
Kopic in motion. Odom, quick pass to the right side, incomplete, outside the reach of Rogers, fourth down.
And you saw the defensive end there in Amari Odom's face had to change his arm angle a little bit and try to rush that football, knowing that he was late on the snap as the motion was coming across. It's all those little things that go into a quarterback's mind to try to get that ball out quickly, and then all of a sudden you have a defensive end coming in your face and you're trying to get the ball out, and it leads to a play like that that forces fourth.
Kennesaw State has called their first time out of the half.
Decision time for Jerry Mack and Kennesaw State as the Owls take the timeout. 4th and 1, we're tied at 27. We'll see. Said there may have been 4 people in Springfield, Missouri that cared about Mo State football. Well, now everybody's talking about the Bears. It's been a big part because of their defense, holding opponents under 30 points, which they've done thus far for 9 straight games, something that hasn't happened in almost 30 years.
And that's a statement. That is some shutdown, lockdown defense that has been the anchor and staple of this Missouri State football team.
But here's Kennesaw State looking to go for him 4th down for the 2nd time this drive. And the Owls hopes to play for a Conference USA title. On 4th down, here it is. Belcher on the handoff, and he surges for a 1st down.
And the Owls mix it up a little there. They've been running that interior run. They've been releasing the QB. And here you go off tackle, block down. You bring the tight end across, and you get that run outside the tackle to get the 2 yards and pick up the 1st.
And now they mix up the formation, empty set for Odom. 1st down for Kennesaw State, 12th play of the drive. Odom on a dart. It's batted down to the line of scrimmage. Ahmad Poole has had himself a ball game today, making the start for the Missouri State Bears with Ryan Williams out. And it's 2nd down.
And Poole did a great job there. And whenever teams go with that 5 wide look, Nolan, the empty backfield, it's all about numbers. If you have enough offensive linemen and you outnumber the interior of that defense, it usually is a QB run. And there, it was evenly matched, so they threw the football.
Play fake by Odom. Pressure in the backfield. Climbs forward. Open man Kopic with the catch. And Kennesaw State regains the lead. Odom, cool under pressure, finds Kopic for the 2nd time today.
Mr. Short Memory himself, delivering in the red zone this week. Steps up, escapes the pocket. You'll see it here. Pressure from the left, pressure from the right. Flips his hips, gets his shoulders square to the line, drives the ball home to Clayton Kopic as they give 6 points for the Owls.
Britton Williams on for the PAT. Operation smooth sailing there, and Kennesaw State leads by 7 at home, a place where they have yet to lose this year. Kennesaw State knew it would have to sustain drives this week, and the Owls do just that. 2 4th down conversions by the black and gold, and it ends with Odom to Kopic and the lead. Lead with its quarterback, Amari Odom. Smooth sailing here, Caleb O'Neal. His decision-making had some issues last week at Jack State, but he does a great job there of not trying to do too much. Continues to look downfield, and he finds Kopic for the 2nd time on one of the biggest drives for Kennesaw State this year.
And Nolan, that's what he's done well pretty much all season, with the exception of last week. And it's really neat to see a quarterback bounce back after a week like that.
Let's visit the sidelines. Here's Maria Martin.
Who looks exactly like Coach Mack. And that guy that you see pacing the sidelines and in the end zone that looks just like him would be his dad. Coach Mack gave a lot of credit to his dad. He said it's open dialogue and wants an opinion from his dad. The 2 of them played at Arkansas State, and they've both been around the game of football for a really long time. Coach Mack's dad said, I'm not doing anything that a father that's been around the game of 60-plus years wouldn't do. And pay attention to him as this one gets a little crazy. He's pumping his fist. He's saying how much he loves the way his son operates this football program. Gave a lot of credit to the staff and said, hey, let's keep it going.
Thank you, Maria. That's a proud papa in the end zone for Jerry Mack, his 1st year leading Kennesaw State. And the younger Mack, Jerry Jr., the head coach of the Owls, joked, he'll probably charge me a consulting fee for all the advice he's given.
I mean, to those of you that still can talk to your dad or have a good relationship with him, I think any dad might be able to charge a consulting fee.
Lawrence, lot of room up the middle. There goes Shamari Lawrence. It's a foot race inside the 30. Lawrence looking for the house call, and he's in. 70 yards for Shamari Lawrence, and Missouri State punches right back on the road.
That's how you answer a drive like Kennesaw State just had. Hey, guess what? We have a quarterback that can toss the rock. We have receivers that can catch it. But guess what? We've also got our running back, number 2, Shamari Lawrence, that can run it right down the middle of your defense and take it to the house.
Important PAT here. Obeid knots us at 34 with 5:08 left in the ballgame. Jerry Mack Sr. probably not too happy with that one right there. Shamari Lawrence, meanwhile, a transfer from FIU who came into Springfield with a chip on his shoulder. He's explosive and strong. He just wanted an opportunity to be the guy. And here in the second half of the season, he has turned into the man out of the backfield for Mo State.
And that's how you do it right there, Nolan.
Number 11
if you
for
want to
Missouri
be the
State
guy,
is checking into the game as number 93.
If you want to beat the man, you got to be the man. And Lawrence right there, sure enough, did it.
17 totes for 170 yards. 2 plays, all Lawrence right there, as Missouri State answers just like that.
Well, I hope you got your second bag of popcorn pop, because this one is getting interesting here in the fourth quarter.
Just a credit to what Ryan Beard and his coaching staff has done at Missouri State. Again, a team entering the year and eligible for postseason play for the Conference USA title or a bowl game. But that lack of a dangling carrot in both those areas has not affected a Mo State team that rebounded after a tough loss on the road in the Coliseum to Southern Cal to open up the year. Has reeled off 5 straight wins, has won 4 straight on the road. And it's battled back here in Kennesaw to tie up the ball game.
The Road Warriors not going down without a fight, Nolan. They're showing why they have had such a dominant season on the road, in that it doesn't matter the momentum, it doesn't matter the big play, the little play, the sustained drive. They're going to answer the call, and they're going to swing back whenever they get swung upon.
Each team with over 440 yards of total offense. It's been a classic here in Kennesaw. Odom's had himself a fine day. He tucks and runs, stretches outside at the 25, and he's twisted out near the 30. It's Dixon who chases him out of bounds, the nickelback out of Houston.
And Amari Odom using his legs there. And that's one of the interesting things about this Kennesaw State offense is they can get hot, they can move the ball fast, they can sustain drives. But if you let the quarterback get loose, that's where things can start rolling downhill for any Kennesaw State opponent very quickly.
2nd and 7, trouble with the snap. Odom picks it up and he dives down. And now it's 3rd down for the Owls.
Talked about it early on. Execution, the little things, the details in a huge game like this with potential playoff or conference championship implications on the line. 4th quarter, 4 minutes to go. Those little mistakes like that can be detrimental to your chances of success.
It's 3rd and long for Kennesaw State. Okay, a quick reset there.
Yeah, interesting.
So on 3rd and 11, Belcher in motion. 4-man rush for the Bears. Odom slung down to the backfield, and a flag down for Missouri State. Westlock took him down with a penalty.
Good chance this might be another horse collar or personal foul roughing the passer. But with that conversation that they're having, you never know what could come out of this. But regardless, Westlock has been all over this Kennesaw State backfield.
After further discussion, the contact on the play was ruled legal. There is no foul.
So no penalty against Missouri State. The sack stands for Westlock, and it's 4th down.
I don't know about that one, Nolan. He did hit the helmet area, but we may need to review it. But if Mario Odom was not passing the football, I don't think that would count as roughing the passer because he tucked it. Because when he tucked it, he becomes a runner, and he got that hand on the shoulder pad, so it wouldn't be a horse collar tackle either.
Hewitt with the punt. Luke waits for the fair catch and reels it in at the 43. 3:28 to go in the ball game. 2 timeouts remain for the Bears. We're tied at 34 following the 40-yard punt. Caleb, you made the comment earlier, this feels like a ball game where it just may be whoever has possession last comes away with the victory. I've spoken into existence here.
Maybe so, and if anybody has a barn out back, you better go look and make sure that thing isn't on fire. But I'm telling you here, Nolan, the Bears have scored so quickly on their last 2 drives. I think they're going to try to slow this game down and milk this clock a little bit because they don't want to give Kennesaw the chance to score quick either.
Over 300 yards through the air for Jacob Clark today. He gives to Green on the ground, who bounces on second effort, remains alive across the 50, and Green slides forward. Just short of the marker, great gain on 1st down. Lawson there for the out tackle.
And with the missed tackles there in the last drive, if you call a run play and somebody breaks one, there's no stopping the clock there, Nolan. And right now the Owls are not doing a good job of open field tackling, and the Bears are taking advantage of that every drive.
Whistles, and Ryan Beard is frustrated on the Missouri State sideline. And the clock had stopped, and the officials now will huddle up to correct it.
But at this point, Nolan, all you can do is just start the clock, and then, yep, there they go. Hold the ball.
With over 300 yards passing for Clark, it's been 3 straight rushes for Missouri State. Lawrence doing the honors, 75 yards and 2 carries in the last drive. Takes the handoff here, second effort, leans forward, he's got a 1st down inside the 45.
And you see there, the Bears took their time getting that play call in, dropped the play clock all the way down to inside 5 seconds, snapped the ball, stayed with the ground game. In this case, your defense is going to have to step up big here.
Good numbers this season for the Owls, but struggling to slow down this Mo State attack. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Ground and pound. Lawrence trying to bounce to the edge, and Kennesaw State hustles to him, but he continues to power forward, gets to the line of scrimmage. And that will take us down to the 2-minute timeout. As expected, it comes down to the wire. 34 all-our score between the Bears and the Owls, duking it out to move up the Conference USA standings. It's Family Field at Fifth Third Stadium. Jerry Mack, his first year at Kennesaw State, exceeding expectations, trying to take his team to the Conference USA title game. They have to win today. A loss takes the Owls out of contention after losing at Jack State last week. Meanwhile, for Missouri State and Ryan Beer, they can't play December 5th for the Air National Guard Conference USA Championship. They feel like, hey, if we win out the rest of the way, they'll know who the best team in Conference USA was in 2025. 2nd and 10, 2 timeouts for either side.
And with this condensed formation, look for a play action. Receivers going to the edges and a tight end down the middle.
Green takes the handoff, breaks out of a tackle. Green shimmies his way for a 1st down for Mo State.
Or you do just that. Lean on your running backs who've been powerhouses here in the second half. between Green and Lawrence. Flip the coin and decide who you want to get it, because they're both picking up chunk yardages.
There's the kicker, Yusef Obeid. Season long is 49, career long is 50. He has not hit beyond 50 yards yet this season.
And if they didn't gain another yard, it would be a 49-yarder, Nolan, right now.
Robinson pulled in the backfield, then slid over. Clark throws to Robinson. Trick pass. Short pass to Clark. A diving attempt. Loose football in the backfield. Picked up by KSU. An incomplete pass. Almost intercepted by Donovan Westmoreland. And Kennesaw State's clamoring that went backwards.
Lobbying for a backwards.
The ruling on the field is that the second pass was forward and incomplete.
They might need to take a look at that one, Nolan. It all happened so fast. We'll see. That one was for sure backwards. And Donovan Westmoreland almost with a monstrous interception there. And that's what a lot of people call being cute and trying to make something special happen.
And Lawrence, into the teeth of the Owls defense, Tylon Dunlap says no, sir.
And Nolan, we just talked about it earlier. One side or the other on this game, somebody's got to win a one-on-one battle. And here's the play again. A backwards pass first, and then as the ball comes out of Robinson's hands, he's right on about the 41 and three-quarter yard line, and the ball lands
to 1 minute and 18
at the
seconds.
41.
1-1-8.
So good call by the officials there. Almost an insane play by Donovan Westmoreland. But Nolan, we were talking during the break. One of these teams has got to have a one-on-one matchup win here to really figure out how to seal this game.
Clock to 1-1-8.
And maybe Tylon Dunlap has done something there on that one, because he won his one-to-one, made a big stop, forced a 3rd and 10. And now it's decision time on, do you take a shot? Do you try to set up a field goal? Do you put the ball on the ground and try to milk as much clock? There's a lot that goes into this decision here on each side of the ball.
There's the Mo State kicker, Yusef Obeid. 2 for 3 today. He's had one blocked. Jacob Clark, over 300 yards passing today, 21 of 28. Conference USA's leader in passing efficiency and touchdown passes. Trying to engineer a 4th quarter comeback.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 18 seconds. 1-1-8.
So a minute 18 put on the game clock here.
And if there were no yards picked up on this, no gain on this play, it's going to be a 51-yarder, maybe 52, but definitely a 51-yard field goal. And as you said, Obeid has not kicked over 49 yards all year.
A 7th-year senior out of Rockwell, Texas. Can this be one of his defining moments? On 3rd down. Here comes the blitz. Clark across the middle, broken up. Jericho Washington Jr. swats it away.
Huge play there by number 1, Jericho Washington Jr. Tells the country to buckle up. No penalty flags on the play. Sticking like glue in coverage here. As you see, wraps the hip, swats the ball, and now for a field goal to decide the momentum and the lead.
From over 50, this will be a career long for Yusef Obeid, a 52-yarder. And they run the fake. Obeid slips out of a tackle, and he's bounced and shoved down.
In a moment where you have nothing to lose except to diminish the chances of the Kennesaw State Owls having an opportunity to make it to the conference championship. You run the old school flip it behind your head to the kicker. OB does a great job keeping his feet, but it's 4th and 10. You take a chance and it doesn't pay out. Owls with a big time opportunity and big time momentum.
Missouri State fans disgusted. And OB is shaken up on the play. Well, it worked for the Mad Hatters out in Baton Rouge, but not in Springfield. Odom slips out of a tackle. Odom alive across the 50, and Odom with a first down. Amari Odom moves it inside Bear territory. 1 timeout remaining for Kennesaw State, 1:01 to go.
And Amari Odom can smell blood in the water, Nolan. You can see it. He's ready to go.
Belcher in motion. Odom drifting, escaping, scanning. Open man, caught at the 25. Inside the red zone, it's Christian Moss coming up big for Kennesaw State.
And he was looking for Gabe Binyard, who just stood up when the ball was snapped. Busted play, he releases out of the backfield, finds Christian Moss just hanging out on the sideline all by his lonesome. Put the Owls in a dangerous position here to strike and a chance to win the football game.
Owls need a win to remain alive for the Conference USA title. Odom to pass. Now he tucks, he drifts back. Odom lobs it, has his man! Touchdown, Chase Belcher! There is a flag in the back of the end zone.
There's also one on the 3, Nolan.
Holding, defense, number 0. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
On senior day, it's the Valdosta native, Chase Belcher, who puts Kennesaw State ahead with 27 seconds to go.
And the patience, poise by Amari Odom to step up in the pocket, avoid pressure, tuck the ball, stay in the pocket, stay behind the line of scrimmage, and the awareness of Chase Belcher to release to the back of the end zone and catch the football. Great job, great play by all those young men.
Williams converts the PAT. And a week after Amari Odom threw 3 interceptions, he sets the Kennesaw State single game record with his 5th touchdown pass of the ballgame.
And let's look at it again. You see the whole field. There's a hold around the 10-yard line. And then you see Chase Belcher throw his hand up Randy Moss style, sneaking out the back of the defense, wide open in the back corner, dropped a rock in the corner, touchdown Owls.
A year after Kennesaw State went 2-10 its first year in the FBS, the Owls are 27 seconds away from an undefeated home season and remaining alive for the Conference USA Championship. But they've got to have a hold here.
And don't forget, the last 2 scoring drives for the Bears have been in under a minute. With 2, one of them was a 70-yard rush. They can score fast. Can't get too excited and don't get too lax here on the defense or on this kickoff.
14 fourth quarter points for Kennesaw State as Williams kicks it off for the Owls. It's short, it's brought out inside the 10. To the 20, makes a man miss, a nice juke, spins ahead and a good push there. Robinson on the return from Mo State, 19 seconds left for the Bears. And Ryan Beard, with his 5-game winning streak for Mo State, has caught Conference USA by surprise. Can they do something that will be remembered for a long time in Springfield over the last 19 seconds?
And here, Nolan, if you're the defensive staff, keep everything in front of you. Don't take anything cheap over the top.
4 receivers in the formation. Clark Looking, short pass, caught inside the 40, and Robinson scampers out of bounds. It takes 7 seconds off the clock. Milan Jones, the walk-on turned scholarship safety for the Owls, getting the start today, pushes him out of bounds.
Again, if you're Jacob Clark, you're looking for one deep defensive back to slip up, not release deep on the snap of the ball. And if you're on defense here, you're looking to stay deep and play up. And the chess match continues.
Second down. Clark unloads, left side, and it's snared inside the 30. James Blackstring with his second catch of the day, 6 seconds to go. The gunslinger out of Texas, over 7,000 career passing yards, lobs one up, and Blackstring comes down with it over Washington.
And Washington's lucky to not get an additional 15 tacked on there, because as he fell down, he grabbed the waist of the receiver.
The game clock to 7 seconds.
Adding a second back onto the clock there, Nolan, and great concentration and catch by Blackstring. Great throw by Clark. And the plot thickens, Nolan.
The game of the year in Conference USA will come down to the final 7 ticks. Ryan Beard on your right, third-year head coach Jerry Mack. Second time as a head coach, first at Kennesaw State. Who do you go to here if you're Jacob Clark? Because you have one timeout left if you're Missouri State. You don't have to throw to the end zone.
I think you take 2 shots at the end zone with how well you have pushed the ball down the field. And Nolan, I would almost look for them to run a couple guys off and run another post route or some crossing middle breaking route, catch the ball, get down, call a timeout if you're not in the end zone.
Empty set. Here comes the rush. Clark throws towards the end zone, intercepted, that'll do it. Alexander Ford with the pick, takes it down the sideline. Ford as time expires, looking to put the exclamation point on it. And the championship hopes remain alive for Kennesaw State.
There is a flag on the 14-yard line in the end zone that they scored in. But if this isn't on the Owls, here we go.
During the interception return, personal foul, illegal blindside block on the intercepting team, number 15. The penalty being enforced from the spot of the foul. First down, Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State takes the lead thanks to number 4
We will have
offense,
one untimed down.
Chase Belcher with a receiving score with 27 seconds to go. And then it's number 4, Alexander Ford, sealing it with an interception. And the emotions run deep for Missouri State, who comes up short on the road. The resilience of a Kennesaw State team with 14 points in quarter number 4. And a secondary that was depleted with injury. It's Alexander
Kennesaw State
Ford
has called a 30-second
who
timeout, their
steps
final
up
of the half.
to seal it with an interception as the Owls take the timeout here, their last, just to make sure everything's a smooth operation. Here are the final untimed down.
And Alexander Ford slamming the door shut. Jacob Clark has his man in the middle of the field, floats it, doesn't pay attention to the free safety. Owls went man free for the first time all year, and there's the blindside block. And might have been a little bit more of a shoulder block, but it was on the quarterback. But either way, talk your talk, young man, and great play there by the free safety, Alexander Ford, to slam the door shut, nail the coffin closed, and finalize and finish this game.
The game of his career, Amari Odom takes the knee, and Kennesaw State remains alive for the Conference USA Championship with a perfect home record in 2025.
That's the end of the game.
What a contest. An all-time classic between the Bears and the Owls sees Jerry Mack's squad prevail at home.
A shootout from the QB from Texas, the QB from Cali, baby, slinging the rock, throwing the football, ups and downs all night long, and the Owls come out victorious. What a game to be a part of, Nolan.
You credit Odom there for what he was able to do to bounce back. And Maria Martin is with the winning coach, Jerry Mack. Here's Maria.
Coach, what an unbelievable game. A back and forth affair, especially as this one closed out. How do you describe the emotions of a win like this?
Man, first of all, kudos to Missouri State. Coach Beard has done an excellent job with their football team. Gritty, tough, like they presented problems all night for us. Man, our guys did a great job of overcoming adversity all night. Sometimes we got behind the chains. They made plays tonight. We talk about the teams that's already remembered play in November, and they are doing that tonight. They did that tonight. Every chance they had an opportunity to make a play, they came up with it, offense, defense, all night long. These guys showed that they want to try to compete for a championship down the stretch, and they continue to prove it each and every week.
You mentioned compete for a championship down the stretch. You still have that opportunity with a win here tonight. What does that mean for your program in your first year as a head coach?
It's big. We're trying to compete for a championship. We know that we got to do a great job next week. You know, we're going to watch this film, put it behind us. But at the end of the day, that's all our hopes and dreams. We came here for one reason, and that's to be the best in this league. And like right now, we are still fighting and crawling and scratching for an opportunity to do that.
What a performance by your quarterback. 5 touchdowns, and he was resilient, especially in the second half. What can you say about the way he played?
Absolutely magnificent tonight. He overcame some adversity. He showed that he can make plays down the stretch. He was smart with the football, no turnovers. Like, I just can't say enough about how he played tonight. Didn't play as well as we would have liked last week. He took it to heart. He came out here. He had the heart of a champion tonight. This
is a senior group, bowl eligible for the first time in FBS play. Doing it on senior night, continuing to win in that manner. What does it say about that group specifically?
That means they love one another. They love their seniors. They love each other. A group of guys from all over the country, all different aspects tonight. They came out and showed their resilience and just love these guys, love competing with these guys every week.
Coach, thank you. Great win. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
A phenomenal job for Jerry Mack in his first year leading Kennesaw State. And there's Chase Belcher, who scored the game-winning touchdown. Let's send it back to Maria.
Chase, game-winning touchdown on senior night. Walk me through exactly how that felt when you crossed the goal line.
It felt amazing. Honestly, I prayed to be in this position. We worked all week for this to make sure we left. We ended the season 10-0 at home, or just undefeated at home in general. And it played out well. It just feels great, honestly, to do it for my team and do it for the fans, do it for everybody. We had a great atmosphere out here.
You're a senior group that is bowl eligible and has a chance to play for a Conference USA title in your first year of FBS play. What's the legacy you want to leave behind as a senior?
The biggest legacy, honestly, we plan on doing something nobody's ever done here, and that should be the biggest thing. That's just the biggest goal, honestly.
What can you say about the way your group was resilient tonight, a back-and-forth affair, especially down the stretch of this one?
We practice situations like this at practice, so it didn't really surprise me, but seeing it work in the game, seeing everything we do in practice come to fruition, it just feels amazing. Honestly, it's a feeling you can't explain.
How incredible is it that you do still have an opportunity to compete for a Conference USA title at the end of the year?
It feels amazing, but we'll see them when we see them. For sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Chase.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Caleb, Kennesaw State, with a win next week, will play for a Conference USA championship. But no matter what happens next week and the rest of the season, this is a game Owl fans will remember for a long time.
That's exactly right. And two things I love from those post-game interviews. Coach Mack talking about how guys that show up in moments like this, they play the way they play, they prepare the way they prepare because they love each other and they have each other's back, and that's a true team win tonight. And just as Chase Belcher said, they're trying to do something that's never been done before. Kennesaw State, the winningest startup program in the history of college football, one of the standouts this year in Conference USA, have a chance to go win, play in the conference title the week after. They're doing great things.
41-34, Kennesaw State wins in a thriller. Trickeration. Don't fool me. Barrett, Hobson, and Jones string them down. And Amari Odom His 5th touchdown pass of the day. No Kennesaw State players ever done that. Odom and the Owls stand alone, undefeated at home as he finds Belcher, and Ford caps it off. For Sanders Sullivan, Brandon Bedford, our entire production crew did an excellent job here today. Maria Martin, the field, my partner Caleb O'Neill. It's been a great one with you this year. I'm Nolan Alexander.